This box.
That really hurts my ears.
Yeah, I figured.
Pack a punch! Oh my god! I think it makes vodka!
Hello.
Yeah, what's good? We'll go live in about 8 minutes, but yeah, I guess I'll bring you in here. What's good, man? What's good?
What's up?
Nothing much. Nothing much. Let me leave this party.
You nerding up?
Okay, I'm back now. Sorry about that. Yeah, I was playing some GBs with my friends.
With your friends? With your
Yeah.
interweb friends?
With my e-friends.
Hey.
So did you ever end up going to get that ice cream or what, Hector?
No, it was too late. Nothing was open.
I got back to the hotel and I'm like, God, I'm so hungry. So we went to like McDonald's and had breakfast. It was the worst. It was like the only thing.
Oh, I see.
And ride a bus for 10 hours.
Yo,
I don't know.
Why aren't any of your nerds coming on, dude? I'm disappointed.
Yeah, man. They're playing GBs.
Yo, man, that
We're having
GB
a-
will be over in like 20 minutes probably, and then they can come in and talk.
Yeah, but how long is the show? Like an hour, right?
Like an hour to 2 hours, normally around 2 hours long.
Holy crap! Yeah, I'm only gonna be here for a little bit.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I need the team in here. It's like UMG. It's a rant with the champions.
They're playing, man. We're having a ton of fun. And we don't often get to play together.
Yeah, didn't Ego's like daily tournament start today?
Yeah.
How many teams showed up for the first one?
I have no idea. I know that my team was supposed to play, but something happened where they couldn't do it.
Is it the demo tournament he's doing today?
I don't know. But my team was supposed to play, but they ended up like not doing something or not being there in time. So we just started playing GBs, and that's why.
Alright, well I'll use you for 30 minutes and then throw you away.
Alright. Like a condom.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Man, I haven't done a rant in a week. I'm like fiending over here. I was starting to like shake. I was getting the shakes.
I gotta use that gun more often.
What comes
The
that?
FAL?
No, the one that looks like a fucking mother. I don't know. It's got It's got a fucking like a really cool red dot or iron sight. It's it looks like an AK-47 almost.
Oh, the AN-94?
Yeah.
Man, get up on your guns.
I've been seeing more
You need to
people.
stop using them snipers so much.
Nope.
Dude, what is... Oh, God.
Good afternoon, Joe.
Hey.
Is my audio okay? Is it too loud, too soft?
No, you're good, man.
I can hear you.
Hey Hex, can I just throw you a quick video link to watch? Just get your opinion on real quick.
Sure.
This is separate from the Weekly
There you go,
Rant.
Scrub.
It's private. It's a concept I'm going through, an idea I'm working on for...
Oh, hey, Holly. I don't know who you were. I didn't recognize your voice.
He's like, hey, yeah, actually, I'll look at this, you freaking E-Rider, what are you doing? Oh, hey, Holiday Dog, what's up? Hey, I didn't notice you.
I think this guy might have been in the game I just played. The CPF game I was telling you about.
Why is it so short?
It's just, I just wanted to get the original feel of what people thought of it so far before I continued even further.
Well, you got me on the hook. I want to see it. New breed. Who's the coach?
Midget King.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Is he gonna be calling out when streaks are live?
I don't know. That's my baby though, my team. Hopefully they start performing a little bit better.
Oh, that's your team? What do you mean?
Yeah, it's I got them all sponsored. We sent them to UMG and everything.
Oh, cool, man.
Unfortunately, they got knocked out by Complexity, so I think they placed like 17th or something.
Yeah, well, we had to make it happen that way.
Yeah. If
In
you
order
guys,
to
you know,
accomplish what
next
we-
time,
Yeah.
next time you guys make the bracket, you know, can I slip you a couple hundred to put me?
No, man, that's not gonna cover it. Couple hundred? We're gonna do it a couple of hundred.
You gotta match the prize pool, bro, at least.
Okay, I see how it is. As long as I'm guaranteed top 3, I can do that. Let's talk.
Well, what's-
that's too soon, man. It's too soon.
But what are you gonna do with a top 3 team?
I'm gonna be
Oh.
proud.
Yeah.
You need a numero uno team.
No, not even that. What's the championship do? Championships don't do anything for sponsors.
Oh, it has nothing to do with sponsors.
Holy fuck, I'm lagging. Is it your fault, Holiday? Holiday? Instead of boot you? I miss you, man. Where you been?
I've been around. Been working on projects, man.
Yeah, too bad you weren't working on my project. Hater.
Your project.
Yeah, you were doing so good with the videos. Everything was going fine.
And then your team stopped playing.
No.
And then I stopped playing.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Alright, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Silence.
No,
Silence!
we will never. How long do we have to be silent for?
Like 20 more seconds. Alright, what is up, ranters, and welcome to the Weekly Rant. It's been a week since I've been able to put a show on. I'm fiending over here, and I'm excited to put this on. We got OpTic Hex with us, of course.
What's going on, guys?
Big man OpTic Hex. We're talking all UMG this show, hopefully. I know OpTic Hex is a busy man. He has to get out of here in a half hour or so. But we're going to try and get everything we can in that amount of time. So I am sporting the UMG jersey. Jeff, you're an awesome dude, man. You and Emily put on an awesome event last weekend. I think they blew it out of the water. I don't know what you guys think, but I think they blew it out of the water. Freaking 61 teams.
Yeah, I think they did. I know that Emily's not working with them anymore, so that's good for us. You know, that way there's no. They're gonna have to be more creative with the excuses.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. What is Revan talking about? You see that in the chat, Hex?
No.
All right. No.
Revan's talking about like StarCraft.
Oh. So Hex, what did you think of the event, the entire event? Like, I mean, you were there. What did you think of OpTic's gameplay? I mean, obviously they won. They were in the winners bracket the entire time. I know I myself didn't expect that. I had Farico, but I don't know. I guess we all saw how that went, but I don't know, man. What'd you think?
Well, I mean, there's really nothing to think. I think I don't know.
I think your bribes worked well. That's what I think.
My pockets were deep enough this time.
Just kidding.
No, I think that I don't know. I usually just show up and try to enjoy Call of Duty. I don't even think. I mean, I understand obviously that my team's there and you know I'm supportive of them. I'm obviously always rooting for them, but I'm actually rooting for an exciting match. You know, like there was a couple of them that were so close. It was just good Call of Duty. I enjoyed it. I thought it was awesome. I think that Jeff has got something here, and we were getting props from everyone.
A lot of people
like Rod.
Everybody.
Yeah, it's like, you know, for a make it yourself, you know, tournament, it was awesome. And I think that John Howell, or John's Fat Cock from Twitch, said it best. He said that, you know, this was you know, an underground almost tournament that catered only to that specific audience. That's why it was so successful. There was nothing of the fancy, like, you know, like graphics or high quality, you know, the high quality streams.
Just
there was
the
nothing,
production.
Yeah,
the production of it was just not.
Yeah,
like
right. And it was still
that.
successful. I mean, if you think about it, like we had 20,000 concurrent at 1 a.m. Okay,
Yeah,
and imagine.
1 a.m.
Imagine if we would have had it at, you know, at like 6 in the afternoon. Yeah.
8 p.m. is probably prime time.
Yeah, like right after all the football games are done, there's nothing else going on. Like, it would have been awesome. I mean, even if the football games were going on, I watch the Bears all the time while I'm streaming on my laptop. So I think it was okay. Want Meyer, yes, peak. I am sorry, peak.
But you knew what I meant. I thought you weren't reading the chat.
No, you know what? I never do, so it doesn't matter.
Right. I lost my train of thought though after that statement.
I will say this though, I was standing by Hex at the finals. In the very last couple maps, he was just like pacing and pacing.
Yeah, man. What was going through your mind in that finals? Let's talk about that.
Well, again, it could have been a Farico Complexity finals, and if it was that close, I think I would have been, you know, pacing. Maybe not as much as I was, obviously, because it's my team, but I still would have been on the edge of my seat, like waiting to see what was going to happen. So I don't know. I thought it was amazing. I thought, again, it's all about, you know, putting on a good show, and UMG did that. Like, it was an amazing show, and again, you know, a lot of people showed up and supported it, and not just us. It was a lot of people. You know, big and small, that were promoting it, so it's a good.
How was the in crowd feel? Like, was there a lot of spectators that, you know, just came out and enjoyed?
Yeah,
The very first day, I would say they were really close to fire code, and that's like 500 capacity inside the venue.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty packed in there.
Yeah.
The first, like Saturday, it was really packed. It was crazy inside there. I mean, huge turnout, huge viewership. I mean, I think this was the spark that this community needed. I mean, what do you think this will lead into, Hex?
Well, it definitely opened up the eyes of a lot of higher ups. You know, there was a lot of people, you know, paying attention, and that's why it's important that everybody's always doing their best to promote the sport the way it should be, because you never know who's watching, right? In this case. Yeah. You know, I think Sundance was in there at one point. Obviously, David Vonderhaar, you know, seeing his baby. I mean, let's be honest here, okay? Like, what we have here in our hands, like, I don't think David Vonderhaar is getting enough credit for this. Like, he's not getting enough credit. This was amazing, and nobody, like, at first everybody took the time to go say, fuck you, David Vonderhaar, this is bullshit, score streaks. Everybody took the time to say that, but nobody's taking the time right now to say, hey, David Vonderhaar, you did an amazing job. We take it back. We were entertained. It was close. It was a nail biter. It was sick. Nobody's taking the time.
So, I think everything got kind of overshadowed by all the drama that was afterwards, though. Like, it's really unfortunate.
No,
I disagree as well.
Yeah.
I think it was a short peek in. Oh my god, what just happened? And it was like, oh, that's what happened?
No, not only that, but there was two things that happened after the event, and it still didn't overshadow the great win that Call of Duty competitive had as a whole. Like, it didn't. You know, it was like, it's good, which is a good thing. You know, people were able to be like, yeah, this is bullshit. You know,
I really like that after this event, Deserto announced their rule change.
Good.
I think that's a huge indication.
Awesome. I thought that was awesome too.
I agree. I think Deserto, and again, Deserto led the community last year, right? And we need to match that. We need to match their passion and their intensity for the sport, the way they were holding it up last year. Like, I think that we need more of them as well as more people showing up to do what they're doing. And I think that having a universal rule set is something that is good. You know, it's what we need. We need it to be the same way all across the scene.
For sure. For sure. I was surprised to see Deserto even budge. I know a bunch of EU players were tweeting out, you know, maybe we're starting to think maybe we should use score streaks, you know? And then I was talking to a few of them. I was like, oh, yeah, you think it's going to happen? They're like, man, I don't know, really. Then literally, like, not more than 12 hours later, Deserto posts that, oh, we're going to try score streaks now.
Yeah, good. Give it a try. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. You know, there's nothing wrong with having two different rule sets. I mean, you know,
you got to be willing to try, and I think that's the hurdle that everybody has to get over.
Yeah, I agree.
What are the GB rules like? I don't even know. I haven't been on that website in years.
I have no idea. All I know
GB
is
that bare bones.
Oh, it's bare bones. So that's the next step.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will. I think that you know, if the right people approach the situation the right way, I think that Sundance and MLG will be willing to listen to it. You know, and again, like Holiday Dog just said, it's all about at least giving it a chance to try it. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit, right? It's the same thing. Like obviously with Deserto, the way they did it originally, and they were saying, well, you know, Americans use you know, this gun with red dot. We don't have red dots. We blah 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 this and that, and that's why we're better. And then obviously the Americans showed up and did a great job the first time they were there. And even then, like, I think that we need that. I think that we need that relationship between, you know, everyone in the world that plays Call of Duty. We need the overseas to come here, just like we're going to be going over there. And you know what I'm waiting? I'm waiting for somebody from South America to fucking show up. I know the Brazilians are like huge into esports. I know that they have like amazing, you know, streams. They have people that show up to support it, and I think that that's going to be the next thing. And this year, I hope that, you know, Call of Duty is going to be big enough. I mean, if we take what we have right now, you know, if we take this and roll with it, I think that we're going to be seeing a lot more people come to the United States and vice versa.
I think so too. I mean, this leads to more sponsors coming in, being attracted to it, and which leads to more money, which leads to more teams showing up, which leads to global expansion, if you want to be that dramatic about it. But
to be honest, I don't agree with, you know, the more sponsors brings more teams, because I think we need to get rid of that mentality that teams only need to show up if they're sponsored. I think teams need to show up because they want to play the game.
No, I'm not saying sponsors for the teams. I'm saying sponsors for the event. So there's bigger
for prize pools. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I understand.
I'm not saying more sponsors for teams. These teams need to frickin' suck it up and not feel like they're frickin' self-entitled when they win a fucking map against some AM team. Like, get the fuck out of here. Really. The self-entitlement in this community is ridiculous. You guys need to pay your own way. Everybody else does, so why shouldn't you, honestly?
Well, because I mean, some teams obviously deserve it.
Some teams deserve it, but I would say 99% of the teams out there don't.
Well, I mean, and again, it's going to be all up to the responsibility of the organizations to do this, right? You know, like, I pay my players' salary. I fly them, with the help. Obviously, the salary comes from OpTic, and then the rest of the the travel and all that comes through the organization of Eon and that, right? But I think that more organizations need to show up and actually provide more than just hotels or this and that. I hate when companies just come in and slap their name on a team, and that's what it is. Obviously there are the ones that do it right, and there's a lot of them. But I would hate to see somebody come in, slap their name on something, not give anything to the pros, and just what happens if they win? Like, oh hell yeah, we just won. Like, you didn't. That's not your team. You just slapped your name on it. Like, at least I feel that my team has been my team because I am like teammates with them. I don't think I have called myself the leader of the organization, the owner of the organization, but at the same time, like when I refer to them, I call them my teammates, not my players, not my pros. And they are my teammates. I play with them, and I make sure that they're going to be protected. I make sure that they're going to be taken care of. I make sure that everything that they need is going to be there, not just because I want them to win a championship. Because at the end of the day, what is a championship really going to do? Besides, obviously, prove that they're the best at that, but. I don't think we're there yet when it comes to saying, okay, these guys are the best. They're using this. This is why people are going to buy that,
So you don't think winning championships really have anything to do with, I don't know, sponsors or like team-wide sponsors or anything like that? You just think it's just, I don't know, a trophy? I don't know what you're. I don't completely understand what you're saying.
I think more teams need to take what OpTic Hex has done as a team model and adapt it to their own, because he's obviously doing something right, and it's working. He's proven it. So, a lot of these other teams and organizations, like he just said, come in and bam, slap a sticker on their forehead, tell them to go walk around and promote our product. That's exactly what we don't need. We need teams that are teams, people that are all working together for the same goal, same idea, promoting esports, promoting teams, and working our way forward. And
yeah, the problem with that, though, is that there's so many naive children in this community that anybody can take advantage of them.
That's very, very true. But that's on us. That's on media outlets like this show and, YouTube channels.
I think I've proven that I've put some good information out there for people to know. And I tell you what, I still get tweets about a few of these companies that I expose on this show with you guys telling me, oh, we went to them and then they ripped us off. I'm like, I'm not your father, people. Like, I give you the information. It's up to you to make the decision on whether or not to deal with these people. If you do, after I pretty much show you everything that is wrong with them and you still go to work with them, don't be coming to me after the effects saying I need to fix it. Because that's on you, brother. That's not on me. I've gotten that quite a few times in the past month already.
Yeah, and that's another problem, right? Everybody expects everybody else to do their work for them, right? And it's never going to be the case. If you want something, you need to go out and get it yourself, or try to get some help to go out and get it with somebody. And if that doesn't work, still go out and get it for yourself. And that's obviously like something that's super important. Never be reliant on somebody or something that you yourself don't believe in. And people need to, whether you're 14 or 32, you need to get out there and make things happen for you, because nobody else is going to take the time to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And nobody else has your best interests in mind but yourself.
Exactly.
Like, nobody's going to go out there and work harder for something for you than yourself.
Unless you're OpTic Hex.
Yeah, so, but I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, is there some way to guide people easier, more than just media outlets?
I think there is, but I don't think that those same people are looking. I mean, it's been laid out for them. It's been there are people doing it right now, and there are people still sitting back and saying, well, fuck, he's already getting everything. Why am I even going to try? Yeah. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, it shows you where this community is, right? It shows you where our pros are. They need to take control of their own, fate, their own path. Everything that they're going to do it for them first. And if somebody sees that they're caring about themselves, somebody else is going to care for them.
And you know what? Actually, I know Schoolie is doing a morning COD show now. Every morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it's actually pretty good. They're actually talking about this morning that like everyone's in it for themselves in this community, and we
Not
were talking. Well, not everyone, but most. And we were talking about like just growing, like how Schoolie's still growing and how the Weekly Rant's still growing. And it's like I didn't get any help from people when I first started this show. I mean, I got like the support of a few people to come on the show and talk, but nothing really like outlandish. And it's just funny when like you finally work your ass off for. I've been working my ass off for 6 months on this show now, 6-7 months, and you start becoming something. You get all the people holding their hands out, and it kind of like, I mean, you started off not getting too much help yourself. Then when people start holding their hands out to you, you're kind of discouraged to help them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's how I feel about it. So
I think that it's man, it's like a double-edged sword, right? Because you want to do the right thing and you want to promote and you want to help out, but the second that you do help out, people are gonna be like, "Fuck that, we don't want your help."
yeah,
And then you're just gonna shit all over your face. So it's damned if
Exactly.
you do and damned if you don't. So, you know, if I say this all the time, like I am here to help, but the second that I see some things that I don't agree with, I'm gonna take my hand right back and put it in my pocket because I am not anyone's dummy. You know, I'm not gonna help you if you're gonna fucking one, you know, be that, and two, be that again. If I don't want to, you know, obviously be too forward here, but
oh come on, man, it's
it's
the
just
rant.
unfortunate.
It's the rant.
And it's not. No, it's not the new rant.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
We're in the process of molding our new image. So I apologize. I think I threw a few F-bombs out there earlier. I shouldn't have done that, but
That to me is not a big deal. I was just,
I don't know.
you know,
I've been told,
bashing people.
I've been
is
told.
coming up.
Yeah, I know. I've been told by a few people though that I need to like try to keep it more PG-13. I don't know why. I mean, I do kind of know why, but then I'm.
If we
kinda like, it's not what the show-
if you were making this show around a PG-13 game, I understand, but you're
Yeah,
not.
I
You're making it
know, right?
around a mature game. So,
Yeah.
again, you know, to me, obviously I have a kid, so I do watch my mouth around my kid. But you know, obviously this is a forum where we're playing a mature game. I mean, they say fuck on the game, they say shit in the game. You know, they're gonna hear it there, whether or not we
Yeah.
say it here. So it's not that big of a deal. It is obviously when. To me, and again, this is something that I'm very aware of, and I'm always making sure that I don't do this, right? Because I don't want it to seem as me being a bully, and that's why every single problem that I have, I try to address outside of Twitter, outside of like any social media. I address it personally with that individual, and that's how I choose it, because it's a double-edged sword, right? Again, you know, if you are in a position like I am, you can't defend yourself the way that you would like to defend yourself. You can't, you know, when the whole thing was going on with the accusations of Emily and everything else, I really wanted to get out there and say what I really thought, but it would have been seen as a bully thing to do, because we have a big organization. Well, not organization, we have a big team, and it would have seen as something like I'm a bully, and I don't want that. That's why certain people were contacted privately, and that's what it is.
I mean, that's
I find
the right
myself
way to
in
go at
that-
it, though.
Find myself in that struggle all the time. You know, sometimes you get attacked on Twitter or wherever, and you know, sometimes I'll be able to just, you know, delete and move on. Let's go next. But sometimes you're just like, you can't even control yourself. You just want to say everything that's on your mind, and it really comes back to bite you, and it hurts your overall image and professionalism, and it does nothing to help, you know, the community grow in any way, shape, or form, because you're just fueling the fire and feeding the trolls.
Yeah. I mean, that's ultimately my biggest downfall. I'm a very straightforward person. I tend to say what's on my mind, and sometimes it gets me in trouble, but
I used to be that. In person, I am that.
yeah, so am
But
I. I kind of shaped up a bit on the show. I mean, I guess if anybody watched the show in the beginning months, I mean, you know what all went down, so. But, yeah, I mean, I completely agree.
What do you guys think about this? About the Halo situation? I mean, obviously this is a
I
Kyle.
didn't even hear
I
about
was-
this.
I
What
was about to
happened?
bring that up as
No.
well.
Yeah, I kind of saw it coming, And just from tweets that happened in December about Virgin Gaming
the
and
VG
their
thing.
announcing their system and their upcoming events, but as soon as I saw, I thought, failure. Look at Virgin Gaming and Battlefield. That was an absolute disaster.
Dude, they still
Nobody
have that
played
page.
it.
They still have that page on their website where it's like
Really?
$1.6
No,
million
they
tournament
took
coming
it.
soon.
No, they
They
took it out.
finally took it down. It was
Yeah,
all
they've
like,
had it off. And I hate now that they're saying, well, the sponsors who were gonna show up for this, backed out at the last second. I hate. I would have loved to have seen an official statement from them, because once you do that, like, nobody's gonna believe anything that you say. Nobody's gonna, like, the second I heard that Virgin Game is picking it up, I immediately said I feel sorry for the Halo community that's gonna believe in this shit, because one, obviously MLG has already been established. MLG is already there, and obviously their platform is where Halo competitive lives, right?
yeah.
So for them to not be able to continue to support Halo the way they should or they can, I think it's a slap to the players and not just the game. It's not. I know that Virgin Gaming obviously wants to replicate some of the things that that MLG, IGN are trying to do, but
So Virgin Gaming is trying to get into like the whole LAN scene now.
yeah,
Yes.
I mean they have been. I mean, obviously they have the EA, what is it, Madden or something else? It's $1 million Madden thing. Like, they're a sponsor of that, and again, I think that Virgin had still had the opportunity to show up and be like, okay, look, these people didn't show up. I apologize. We apologize as a company. We sold you pretty much the game.
Yeah.
On a tournament that was going to rival COD XP, and it didn't. It was disappointing. A lot of players I know went and started grinding on Battlefield 3, trying to get a
I
prize.
grinded the shit out of that game. I'll tell you that much. And it's like after like 4 months, I was like, yeah, this is never happening. I'm out of here. Peace.
Well, I mean, I was kind of tweeting about it last night, and their community manager actually tweeted me today, and I got to talking with him, and I passed them on to the Halo Council to kind of talk with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they're obviously showing some sort of interest if they're getting back and talking to people about what's going on now.
Right now, exactly. Right now.
So,
now.
I mean, there's still a little bit of hope in there for those guys. And if not, hey, I'm
I
more
just
than
feel
willing
like-
to welcome them over here. Like,
I feel like they backdoor swindled that deal without anybody really knowing what was going on. They didn't voice their opinion beforehand. They didn't give feedback or any sort of interaction with the community that they were trying to buy up. And to me, that seems wrong.
Yeah.
Well, it was. They're more so. I'm not wanting to say they're all about the casual gamer, because they throw tournaments as well. They integrate everything, and it wasn't fully on 343. 343 still wants to work with MLG, and they still want to do tournaments with them. But Microsoft is the one who signed the deal with Virgin Gaming.
Again, we can't say anything. All we can do is discuss what we know as of right now. Until we hear any official statements, we really can't put and start pointing fingers. Mm-hmm. But if it's really real, I mean, it's unfortunate, because now you have you're gonna have to start all over with the whole Halo esports scene, because you're gonna be on a platform that is really not known to anyone. And specifically in that specific community, right? Because Halo, like I said, has always lived in MLG. I mean, it was synonymous, right? It was MLG, and I mean, to be honest, I don't blame the Halo pros trying to make the switch. I mean, we welcome them. I think that. Yep. I personally, I mean, I don't know how other people feel, but I don't see anything wrong with that. I encourage it, in fact, because that only means that our community is growing, right? And whether they're only here to compete, to hopefully make money or not, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're a professional gamer, you're going to try to have gaming as your profession. Guess what? If you get fired from one job, you move right along and switch industries and go work for something else. I used to work in the mortgage industry, and then that went kaboom. Halo, and then I went to go work for an insurance company, Call of Duty. It's the same thing. If this is your passion, if this is your profession, you're gonna do that.
Yeah,
that's a nice little analogy there. I mean, yeah. But I don't know. Who know? I mean, what do you think is going on between MLG and Call of Duty right now?
Here's. Well, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I don't know.
He does know.
What do
You
you
filthy
think?
liar.
Just all right.
I am bound by honor.
You're
Yeah, I know. But here's my speculation.
I'll let Doc speculate then.
So I've got conflicting insider information. Now, what I can talk about is up in the air. This is obviously the Weekly Rant. No one's safe. Nothing's really safe. But at the same time, for protecting people, there is some things that can't be said. But moving forward with MLG and Call of Duty, right? Like, there's obviously some licensing issues that they're trying to work out. Treyarch, obviously, with the amount of work they've put in on this game to try and make it competitive, wants to see a little bit of return, right? That seems fair to me. And I think
really
MLG,
have to, even though they're making fucking millions on 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 opening day, you still. I mean, I understand that's theirs, and I'm fine with them getting a little piece of something, but man, share the wealth. Riot does an amazing job at supporting their professional players. I think that Activision should do the same. I mean,
but you're talking about conflicting companies. Like, Treyarch is a game developer that is really passionate about their games.
Mm-hmm.
Activision is really passionate about making billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
so,
not at all.
You could have your game developer be like, let's give this guy or give these guys all the rights they need to make this, go global with the amount of viewership and anything they want to do. Let's give them full access. But then you're gonna have Daddy say, well, that's gonna cost you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where we're stuck right now. I know Sundance has to be fighting for us. I don't think he would let Halo and Call of Duty slip away out of his grasp. And I think we're going to see... I definitely think we're going to see one land for sure. But what happens after that, I don't really know.
UMG's what happens after that. Let's go.
Yeah, well, it's UMG and, LAN tournaments like that are always going to be needed, right? I think that MLG's
needed for a different reason.
Yeah, no, I think that MLG's is, and again, this is where, and I'm predicting right now, if MLG shows up and supports it like they always have, they did support it. It was just Infinity War. You know what I'm saying? If they show up and they put it on the circuit and they do whatever and they bring it mainstream, I can guarantee you there's going to be the dummies out there. They're going to be like, oh my god, I hate Call of Duty. It's so mainstream. I swear, I'm predicting it right now. Everybody's like, oh my god, we want it to be big. We want it to be big. We want it to be big. Mainstream makes it big. Ew. It's on TV. I don't want to see it on ESPN. I can guarantee it. I smell it.
I want to see it on ESPN.
I want to see it on ESPN.
I want to see me on ESPN. How about that? I don't know.
Well, you had your answer right there. I'm just kidding.
Hex, if you had to choose between MLG doing 4 or 5 $10,000 events,
mm-hmm.
or Activision and Treyarch doing multiple smaller Call of Duty XP events,
mm-hmm.
what do you think would be better, and which one would you feel like is just a better go?
Ooh, that's tough. I think that, oh man, I think I would have to go with the league. I mean, the league's been doing it for how long now? They know what they're doing. They've grown up. They've been able to, and whatever bullshit goes on in the back doors of corporate MLG doesn't matter to anyone. It shouldn't matter to anyone. Like, whatever VC money they get, whatever they choose to spend it on should not matter to anyone. As long as the shows are being put on and people are being entertained, it should not matter to anyone what's going on behind closed doors. Now, I think that MLG has done an amazing job at creating a sustainable league that's going to be here for a very, very long time, no matter who owns it. I think that it's awesome. Now, Do I think that COD XP should be every year? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Like the Call of Duty experience was by far like the most fun I've had at a certain event. But that's because I got to live in the game. I got to play the game early, and it was awesome. But the competition level was not what an MLG is, right? The MLG it personifies and embodies what the scene is. Obviously not after hours, but within there, I think that they have it right. That the spectator and everything, for both the spectator in house and also the ones watching from home, I think they have it right. I don't think that I could ever pick anything over it. I think that if Activision or Treyarch choose to do an XP tournament here and there, I think that it's all about it. We need fillers throughout the year, right? If we're only going to have four shows from MLG throughout the year, I think that there's 8 more months where people need to fill up and host their own stuff.
Of course. And that's where these little lands, like, I don't even know if I can call UMG little anymore, really.
You can't call that little.
I can't call UMG little anymore. Like, it's crazy.
Honestly, if 61 teams showed up 3 days after Christmas in the heart of winter, what's going to happen for the next
teams? That's more teams than what showed up at, like,
Dallas,
Dallas,
MLG Dallas,
and the national.
Columbus only had 46 teams.
Yeah.
So...
But again, it's, we can't compare the community where it was, 2 years ago or to where it is now. So
That's true.
It's...
Yeah, but we like to, damn it.
Okay, fine.
Jeez, just let it slide.
Man, if it was up to me, Call of Duty 2 will still be on the circuit, so if you want to go back that far, I'm fucking down.
Oh, I was waiting for Call of Duty 4. It's the best ever.
No, please, bro. That's Call of Duty.
It's all about the COD 2.
I like Call of Duty 4. Obviously, you put OpTic on the map and all that, but I think Call of Duty 2 will forever. I mean, and again, it's because I'm old and I have the CS:GO is the best first-person shooter ever mentality when it comes to Call of Duty in comparison to all the Call of Duties that have come since. But I think that we finally got it right. I think that after 9 installments, is it like 2, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? No, like 8. What is it? What number are we on? I don't even know.
I don't even know, dude. I don't count them anymore.
Whatever installment we're on right now, we finally got it right, and I think that it took all those little things, all those installments of Call of Duty from 2 to the shitty 3 to the great 4, and obviously all the way down to where we're at right now. I think that it was needed, and now we are right there.
Honestly, they're missing one huge thing that I think would finally solidify Call of Duty as the best online shooter, and that is dedicated servers for multiplayer.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think we're ever going to be able to have that until we have a platform strong enough to do it. I don't think the Xbox that we have right now would even take advantage of that. I mean, yeah, we see a lot better connections, but are we really using dedicated servers to the fullest potential with this Xbox? I don't think so. I think that we need the new.
You think it'll be the next Xbox?
Hey, I saw a tweet earlier saying that the new Xbox is going to be revealed at like the next E3 or some shit like that.
Well, that's what, next week?
A few months away.
No. I was thinking CES is next week.
Yeah. CES.
What's up, girl?
What's up?
What you doing?
Listening to y'all. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So Emily, are you pleased with the turnout?
Well, I was
And
surprised.
how the whole event went?
I mean, not many people know like the back end of like ticket sales and stuff, but pretty much about like a week before ticket sales closed, we were at like 7 passes. Like total, like, and that's including like 4v4, free for all, spectator, everything else. And then 24 hours before, shit just blew up.
Yeah, it was insane. I remember walking in Friday night and Jeff's like, "We're at 54 freaking teams." I was like, "Holy crap!"
But I mean, not only like online sales like that did phenomenal. We had like over 40 or whatever. But at the door to get 15 teams at the door on Friday that's crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
Teams just kept coming in. It was ridiculous. But
yeah,
I mean, it was awesome. It was crazy.
How many spectator passes did you guys end up selling?
A lot.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there were a lot of spectators there.
Yeah,
like even that.
There was.
Yeah, I know. I mean, even at the last match of the night, like just the spectators that were there that didn't even play at like 1:30 in the morning. That was crazy.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Nerds are nocturnal. I'm telling you.
All gamers are nocturnal.
Not me. I go to bed at like 9,
Yeah,
and I love it.
You're old though, so
You're on that old man status. So.
Yeah, I'm on that.
I feel the pain though.
I'm on that 32-year-old father of a 3-year-old. I go to bed when she goes to bed, and that's fine with me because I love sleeping.
Let's talk about UMG now. We have Emily in here. Let's talk about some of the matchups and what were your favorite matchups. What were you most excited to see? Stuff like that.
Are you gonna avoid the
Hex.
question that everybody wants to ask?
Yes, I'm gonna avoid the damn question. I'm not asking the damn question.
I was just
people.
wondering.
They can ask me anything. I don't care.
I don't want to know. I want to just put it behind us.
As far as matchups go, Complexity and RNX, like they were down 0-2 in a best of 5, and they came back. I mean, that was a really good matchup.
Yeah, I was watching.
There was a lot of that though. Like,
I mean,
Complexity was scrappy on Sunday. They went to like last map. They went to last map on like every one of their losers matches Sunday. It was ridiculous. I don't know how those guys were still awake.
But then they got in their groove and they were just on like Krim. I think that's him in the chat, right?
Yeah, Crim6.
He deserved props. He went off. Like TP, I mean, everyone knows TP is really good. Aches was on top of his S&D game, but Krim was just ridiculous in every game mode he played. Like, he was crazy.
Yeah. He was. I know Teep went off in that final match. He dropped like a 40 or 50.
He dropped 50. He dropped 50 kills. He had a Visa in what?
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was fast as hell.
Yeah, he had a
I
Visa
wanted to say nobody else
seconds.
was even close to him. I think the next closest person only had like 30 kills or something.
No,
no,
it was like 20 kills, dude. He like straight up carried the crap out of the team that match,
at like
dude.
15
like, it was
seconds
ridiculous.
in, he was 9-1.
Yeah, he was. I remember seeing that. He was 9-1. I was like, dude, I think he went to like 11-1 too. I was like, this guy's going off right now.
Yeah, he was crazy.
I don't know how. I know after playing all day, you'd think it would just start to drain on you, but Teep's got that stamina apparently, man. He's got that mental stamina. He's
And he was
crazy.
so quiet. Like, he didn't even really get hyped. He's like, yeah, I just dropped 50 kills. That's cool.
That's just Teep, though, man.
He's like, it's whatever.
Yeah, whatever. He's got that, like, real deep bass. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. But, yeah. I know.
So
What about you, Hex? Hold on. Hex hasn't said a favorite matchup yet. I want to see what Hex most enjoyed watching over the weekend.
Matchup-wise?
Yeah, matchup-wise.
I actually liked Methods going up against who was it? It was a super close game. I was really impressed with Methods, right? I've talked about him before, and you know, between Matt and I'm like, man, this kid's like fucking really good. So I think that I was really impressed by him and obviously his team. I thought they did really, really good, especially because they were considered an AM team, but they were just like really, really holding their own.
They showed up. They proved a lot of people wrong. They got their names out there this weekend, that's for sure. Soar, yeah, that was their name, Soar.
Yeah.
Methods went off against Envy.
Who did?
Yeah. Methods.
Oh, Methods, yeah.
Yeah, when they played Envy, he went. I mean, that was just kind of. I mean, Envy did really well, but in their, I think it was standoff CTF, Methods went off.
Yeah, I'm wondering right now. Did Ego ever do like a top 10 list for the UMG?
You talking about predictions?
Yeah, I think
predictions, because I want to match it up to what actually like the actual rankings are.
It was, if I remember correctly, it was way off.
I don't know if
close.
he did it, but I know ESN did one.
Oh yeah, they said their predictions were way off. I remember seeing a tweet about that.
Yeah.
I said the predictions were way off.
Oh, you did?
Well, everybody based it off online, which, I mean, of course, there's nothing else to go off of. But yeah, they were way off.
Yeah, there is. You can't. I mean, a player is a player. You know, like if you have a combination of players, you can't just take that all away because they lose a couple of scrims, especially when they're not practicing. You know, like I'm not one to defend. Like, I hate defending my team because it's biased as shit.
I'll defend them, dude. I remember watching them. They were playing against RNX and getting the crap.
Yeah, I mean, big time.
Like 2 days before the event, I was like, "What is
they got
going on?"
schmangled.
If you go to Big Timers channel right now, it says OpTic getting dumped on.
Yeah.
And every time he posted that, they would do well somehow.
I just don't like. I honestly had OpTic like maybe top 5, maybe going into this, and then they freaking won it. I was like, okay.
Well,
They
what
never
about
left
Envy? nobody counted Envy in, and look at
Yeah,
Envy's
not
back.
top 4, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I counted him in. I mean, JCap, Stainville, Proofy, and then added Sensor to it. I mean, JCap, Proofy, Stainville. Need I say more? I mean, those guys
That
are
was.
staples.
But they were thrown together last minute. That was the only
But
thing that was
Bro,
going
what
against.
actually
I
blew
feel
my
like
mind is everybody took I mean, not bets like physically, but everybody made bets as to like what pro team would be the first one knocked out, and nobody said Envy at all, and they were the first ones to go.
There was a
Like-
man, I remember Saturday, just one after the other, all these pro teams are getting knocked in the losers bracket. I was like, what is happening?
And it was early, like
Yeah,
when
it was
Complexity
round
went down, it was
1,
to an
2,
AM
3.
team.
It was like the first 3 rounds, they're all gone. I was like,
Well,
what?
who was it that knocked Complexity into losers bracket?
Let me see here.
No,
I
it was
can't
Adversity.
remember.
It was Adversity that knocked Envy in, and I can't remember who knocked.
It was.
Sore.
No, they played Soar. Yeah, so I mean, we can't really. That's not really an AM team. I take that back.
But
You
know,
have to
those
remember too. Those were best of 3s.
both of those teams had so many matches to play on Sunday.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
going through that entire losers bracket, and I know how many matches they went through. I helped run the thing. Like it was insane. Just they played all day.
but that happens to anybody that gets knocked down into the losers bracket. OpTic has had to do it more times than I can count, and it has happened. And I think, and I've always said this, I think it helps because you are on a roll when you are winning match after match after match after being knocked into the losers bracket. Your confidence level is just like
Through the roof.
okay, here we are. This is what we are. This is what we are.
Yeah.
This is what we are going to do. We're just going to run through everybody else, and we've done it before. I mean, it's happened. I mean, if you look at EGL, that team, that English team that got knocked into the losers bracket, we beat them. We knocked them into the losers bracket easily, and then they come back at 1 a.m. again. Obviously overseas this time, so it's a lot more takes into play. But they knocked us out after we knocked them out, and they were just super hot. They came back. They beat at the time, what's his name, Killa and Two Quick's team. They knocked them out, and then they moved on to the finals. I don't think they were for Rico at that time.
We're talking about past guys.
Yeah, EGL. I'm saying
Oh,
we're
they
talking about EGL.
they were takeover then, I believe. They were with
Yeah,
Fizzler.
they might have been takeover. Sounds right.
TKO. Yeah.
Losers bracket, in my opinion, I mean, there's more pressure on you to perform, but you play so much. Like when you play one match, you stay there, and then you play again and again and again. Whereas like winners bracket this time, like you played one match and then you sat around for 2-3 hours. I mean, that to me puts you at a downfall. If you have to sit around for 3 hours and you don't get to warm up or play at all, and then you just get thrown in and you have to play, whereas the losers bracket teams, they've been playing for 5-6 hours.
Straight.
Yeah, no, a lot of people were.
I always say that needs to
Complaining.
change. No, I've always said it because I've had to endure it so many times. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what could be, I don't know, implemented to help make that run better though.
I have no
Well,
idea.
the only
give them
downside-
like have stations for them to play on while they're waiting.
that was
or?
the thing. Like we didn't have any extra
No,
stations.
I know, I understand. I'm saying for future events. I'm trying to brainstorm.
For
here.
future events, if you have more stations, yeah, I mean that would definitely be better to have people sit down and play and to stay warm or to warm up. I mean, even 45 minutes beforehand. But this time, I mean, it sucked for everybody who didn't get a chance to play more. It's just like I think we did okay with what we had.
Yeah, I think you
I've seen-
did better than okay with what you had.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people talking about pool plays and stuff. I honestly myself, I don't like the idea of pool plays.
I like pool play.
I want to see pool play so I can see the same result at the end of the fucking thing,
Exactly.
and those same people can fucking complain about the same thing. That's why I want to see pool play.
You don't like
All
pool
right.
play just for having pool play though?
I
like
just
pool
I just
play.
don't like it when people make excuses. Like we've lost several times. We didn't win every single championship in 2011 or 2012, and there was none of this bullshit where this wasn't there, if this didn't happen, this guy had the bracket, like it's disappointing, but at the same time, like it's expected because
Haters gonna hate.
exactly.
That's for real.
You just gotta. It's stupid, but as soon as you see a dominant team come in, win again, everybody's like, they cheated, or they must have cheated.
What
or they
I
must
just
have done
don't
something.
understand is that like, and I'm not bringing this up, but like the people, like some pro players who were accusing me of like cheating and rigging things were the ones who had won the previous
you
event.
just brought it up.
I mean, I'm just saying, like,
I'm not bringing
you
it
won
up,
the
but I'm
last
bringing
event.
it up. I'm not.
I mean, it's brought up now, but
Anyway, now that it's been brought up, I'm gonna take off. I appreciate the invite, and I'm not leaving because it was brought up. I'm leaving because I actually have to go. But again, thank you. We need more of the rant. Maybe a 2-episode a week would be cool.
2 episodes a week.
And you know what you guys should do too? Why don't you record it and put it in a podcast? Because sometimes I have nothing to listen to on my drives.
Bro. It's on our YouTube. All of our shows get posted on YouTube.
Yeah, but it's not the same as an actual MP3.
I know. We're actually working on that. Actually, it's funny that you say that.
Good.
But yeah, man. Thanks for stopping by. You know, you're always welcome to come back. I know. Golden Boy is getting home pretty soon. He said he wanted to hop on.
Cool.
Oh,
And,
Hector, before you leave, I don't know how much more time you got, but do you foresee any big team changes coming up anytime soon? Go.
Oh man, I hope not. I hope not. We just had. Are you talking about my team? My team is not changing.
Any team.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say my team's not changing.
I mean, aside from like Parasite leaving Rough already. But
I didn't know. It's unfortunate. But you know, I don't want to talk about that or him. But I hope not. I hope that the teams that are. I mean, we just had an amazing show. I don't think that we should fuck up the chemistry that was just displayed. And I'm talking about not team chemistry specific, but team versus team chemistry. I think that we haven't had this close of competition in a very long time. And right now is the time where we need everything to be this close and exciting. We don't want any landslide wins. That's boring. You know, it's to me at least. We want to see the very close. Oh shit! They just won hijacked by 7 points. You know, we want that. We need that. That's what makes it exciting.
That was a crazy map.
Yeah, I watched it 3 times already. It's
that's a little weird, but you know, we'll go with it. It's your team and everything. You love them.
I do. But it would have been the same thing if somebody else would have done it. You know, I would have came back and watched. I mean, I watched the other ones that were that close as well. But no, I don't foresee anything. But that's because I don't know any team or team managers or pro players on a personal level. I know that. You know, we're happy with our chemistry right now. You know, especially after the change being so tough. And sometimes the necessary changes aren't always the most popular, but it was something that needed to be done. And you know, I love Rambo to death. Like I seriously got true love for that dude. Like a lot.
And I know it's mutual between all of you guys. Like he has love for you guys still. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it was just a business decision.
Unfortunately, yes. But you know, Matt has done an amazing job, I think. So I can't take anything away from him. It was funny because you know there's people in the chat talking shit like you know like Nate shit and that, and then he fucking plants the bomb and drops that 2-piece. You know, it's like immediately after that. So I think it was a perfect event, and could it have ended better? Sure, but at the same time, like you can't oversee or
emotions, man. I'm telling you what, I don't know. I just think we need to look past that. Emotions got the better of the situation.
I agree.
I mean, it's just nothing. I mean, I'm sure they don't. I mean,
I don't think it was anything more than just emotions.
Bro, I'm the first to tell you that I don't like him. Okay, but you haven't. I could have done the dickhead move and you know made a big speech about it, made a video about it, and put more negative light on him, but. It's not necessary. I have been mad before. I have done things that I regret when I was mad, so I can understand, you know, obviously.
Yeah. Instead, you just made a funny meme about ice cream. So.
That was yeah, but that was way before that.
That was hilarious. So.
Yeah, and that's simply because he said something to me. So anyway, but yes, thank you for having me.
You gotta get out of here, man. So
I don't see any. I hope that there's no changes. I think that again, the team versus team chemistry is awesome the way it is right now, and since we just had a very successful thing, I don't think that we should fuck up the chemistry. I think we should capitalize on it.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And if I could, you know, relate it to YouTube is if you upload a troll video and you are super successful at it, your video is super successful, you capitalize on it, you make more troll videos. You know, you use what works, and in this case, the team versus team that we have right now worked. So I hope to keep it the way it is.
All right, man.
I appreciate you.
Good night,
Yeah,
X.
man.
All right, guys, take care. Good night.
Peace out. Anyway, Emily,
Yeah.
what's up, girl?
Hello.
You know what? I gotta get out of the way because I don't even know myself. Like, what's going on between you and you and UMG? Are you with them now? Are you not with them? Is it like totally ties cut? Are you coming back? Like, what is going on?
This is my standpoint on events at the moment. I support UMG. I support NCG. I support MLG. Anyone who was out of their way to throw.
Them. I'm not asking if you
Oh,
support
hush.
them.
No, I'm just saying I
if you
support
them.
every event holder, but as of right now, like after what just happened and what I was blamed for and like the conspiracy shit out of the woodwork, like I've got to take a step back because anyone who knows me, like I can't deal with that. It's not worth my time.
All right. So what? So you're done? You're done with UMG? You're like no longer gonna help run it?
Man, like, they begged for me to stay. I don't know right now. Everything's up in the air.
I mean, you've been with UMG since like the beginning.
I have.
And now that UMG now all that hard work is finally paying off. And
I mean, the way that I look at it like this is that I'm not going to say that everything about that event ran perfect or that it wasn't.
Of
I mean,
course not.
Of course not. And it sucked that people were waiting so long to play and that we only had 10 stations. But I mean, people need to realize we just didn't expect the turnout. Like that blew us away. And then of course, I mean, the morning of the event, like what can you really do? You know what I mean? And then we'll just see where it goes, but we'll see.
It's just up in the air now. There's no definitive like answer yet. It's just kind of.
As of right now, I'm not doing the next one. As of right now.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to clear that up because I
Do you
didn't know
think
myself.
do you think you would have got the same feedback and everything?
What
like
you guys
that
don't understand is I get the same feedback every event, and it doesn't.
I know.
It's not even OpTic.
You didn't let me finish. Do you think you would have had the same back had you not have as close a ties with Nadeshot?
No, absolutely not. And I think, like, and it's very hard for people, like, from the outside to say, like, you know, oh, well, they're just dating, so she does that. But, like, I don't know if anyone has seen me run an event, like, besides the people that I'm close with. But, like, that's why so many people that were there had my back, is because, like, when I work an event, Matt's not my boyfriend. Like, I don't even have time for him. Like, I really don't.
Hate each other.
Yeah, no. I don't have time for him. Like, I don't look at him like that. It's just that's how it is. But I mean, people need a scapegoat. Like I said on Twitter, like I will be that. Like that's fine. I'm a strong person.
I thought that was all.
I don't care.
It was all stupid. It was just pointless.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's
I was
stupid,
there.
but teams.
I was there
Yeah.
with when she made a majority of the maps, and nothing was based off who was playing. It was based off what maps they had already played.
This is all I have to say, and this goes into like the whole, I guess, map rigging thing. If I was to rig the maps for OpTic, why on their lifeline, like the one map that it took for them to win and stay in the tournament, why would I have given them a map that they've never won ever? Ever. Like they've never won it against anyone. But I mean, it's people will think what they want, and that's fine. But like, I've never ever rigged anything for any team, let alone my boyfriends and maps and whatever. But I do understand where Killa was coming from. Like, he was overtired, he was upset. Everybody came together that was drunk in the lobby the night of, and was just like, "Let's get her! Like, we're all out." OpTic's in.
Is that what
like,
happened? Because
yeah.
I remember a bunch of tweets going out like, remember the code or some shit.
Yeah,
I was like, no,
code.
screw the code. Tell me what the hell
everybody
happened.
was in the people who say the code are the people who came to me and told me about what happened. So, okay. But, no, everybody just got in the lobby and was just
I
kind of like...
somehow wish I wasn't tired after I got back now, because I was going to go down there and talk with people.
Well, I mean, everybody just said, you know, like, that's what happened. This is what she did. And, like, what everybody doesn't understand is just, like, I've literally freaking done maps, game types, ran every event for UMG in the past. And OpTic, I think they won like one, and they weren't even OpTic. Apex has won, Fear has won. I forget who else. There were so many events. But why wouldn't he have won those? You know what I mean? And then
It's
exactly
stupid.
what
It's
Merck said,
stupid.
Yemen,
Any conspiracy
I think,
theory is
just
retarded.
dominated on the series before. And what people don't understand is about like the whole. People are like, oh, well, we played the same maps a lot. There's 6 S&D, 6 hardpoint, 3 CTFs that we had to choose from. Now, every matchup is a best of 5. You have best of 5 in winners, who most teams 3-0'd. Like, there wasn't many 3-2s in winners at all. And then the same for losers. So if you 3-0 and you don't play those last 2 maps, I can't put them in the next rotation for you simply because you didn't play them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because the teams that dropped down just played potentially the same ones in winners. So, I mean, it's very hard to explain on Twitter in 140 characters, and people are fine to continue saying like whatever they want.
That's why
but
you're on the rant. Let's go.
Right, and I've never done that before. But I mean, I can't say that I did something for someone that I didn't. So
I know.
it's whatever.
I just sat here in disgust an entire day. I'm not
Hold
gonna
on,
lie.
I agree that Jacob Minton or whatever with the whole hijacked with the contest spot. Vaughn had hit us up prior the day before, like at the end of the day, and said like my only criticism to UMG, and I could post the DM if nobody believes me. But he was like, I wouldn't play pre-patch, and so main stage was of course pre-patched, and there's nothing you can do at that point when it's brought to your attention, because they're not my Xboxes, they weren't at my house, they didn't come with me. That was
I
Jeff.
think the problem is that we didn't sign on to an Xbox Live account.
Right.
No,
and
Because
that's
because
something they tested.
because RNX and SOAR were scrimming that late that night, and they did update those Xboxes on main stage, but I don't think they were signed into an Xbox Live account.
Yeah. And Clay said afterwards, like, maybe you have to be signed into, or like maybe you need an Xbox Live account, and maybe you do. I'm not familiar with that. But as far as that goes, when somebody brings it to your attention, like on 3 o'clock on Saturday or whatever, and they said, hey, these aren't patched, at that point when you've already
there's
had
nothing you can do.
matches that have been played pre-patch, I can't go and update it because then it nulls and voids the 3 matches that have already been played on.
But at the same time, it's pre-patched for everybody. I mean, you can do the same exact thing they did. Stop the bitching.
I do entirely agree that the contest fight and then a couple of the guns, like, they weren't updated because of that. It would have definitely changed things up for a lot of teams, not just.
I feel like the patch was different, but it wasn't a game changer. It wasn't an outcome changer by any means. Like, you wouldn't have had a team who placed third and the patch would have made them place first. Like, I don't think it was that significant. I think it was something that could have and should have, maybe been looked in a little bit or prehand, but that's hindsight and you can always complain about that. But I don't feel like the patch made that dramatic of an outcome on how these teams played.
I don't believe that patch at that time would have saved complexity, and maybe you're wrong because people don't agree. It was the 10 seconds that Merck had stayed in, like, and you could go back and look at the scores. That 10 seconds that Paradox and I believe it was Rambo casting, when Merck stayed and they were like, why is he staying there? It's only 10 seconds. They're not going to need it. It's kind of useless at this point. And then that 10 seconds was the one that saved their ass.
I was wondering why we jumped 100 viewers all of a sudden, and I looked at my Twitter line, and now I know. But I'm sorry, I just had to interrupt there. That was just too funny. But
No,
anyways,
you're
go
good.
on. It
But
was funny.
no, I mean, it was hard. There's a lot of things that, if we could go back and change, that we definitely would, as far as like the patches and the waiting times for teams. But I mean, what people have to remember is that we had 61 4v4 teams, 48 2v2, and over 30 free-for-alls. And like, we had been going since, I believe, 8:30 on Saturday, like just knocking things out as fast as we could. And with 10 stations, like I said, it's not like, oh, you guys didn't have more. We did, but we didn't plan on having 61 4v4 teams. The last time we checked, we had 40.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, there's not much that we could have done at that point. So, hopefully that answers some people's questions.
But yeah, I know there's a bunch more people in here. I don't
I see Merc up in here now, but if there was some sort of pack that people were talking about, I didn't know about it because
Wait,
I
we're
came back
talking
to the
about
hotel.
some protein pack to not scrim OpTic or something?
This was made in the
Yeah.
lobby.
I came back to the
Why?
hotel. I left to go get McDonald's. I ate back in the hotel room, and then I went to sleep, and then left at 8 in the morning or 7 in the
Ego
morning.
can shed light on the pact because he was there.
Oh, Ego's
But
in
this-
there.
but
this
kinda-
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Do not throw me under the bus.
No,
I
It's
don't.
okay. Ego
No.
already told us. We know what's
No,
going
I'm
on.
I have no. I don't even know what.
I'm joking. I'm just giving you shit. But no.
Yeah, Paul. So what's up with this pack, bro?
Is that is
No,
is
it's
that
not
true?
in that
Are
position.
are pro teams really not scrimming OpTic? They're that butthurt?
Do
I'm
not put him in that position.
Oh, we're putting him in that position.
Yeah,
No.
you're in that position.
No, because it's different. Like, I mean, it's kind of just like Ego's at a point where like he could say
Obviously,
something.
Paul, were you heading the charge then? Is that
Obviously,
what it is?
out there.
He had the
Wow.
OpTic flag and he was burning it as he's running through the lobby.
Yeah, I heard something about that. I forget who was talking about it, but oh man, it might have been that lobby was crazy. Come on, now we can't. The hotel lobby stays in the hotel lobby.
But I mean,
this
I mean,
ain't
that kind
Vegas.
of goes
Get the
back
hell
into
outta
what
here.
the stream where Killa was hosting on Mad Cat or whatever, where he was saying,
Yeah.
you know, why would Big T use this and that? And then that's when Big T came in. It was kind of like, why would I use what? And like they were going through theater and like
You know,
looking.
that damn
Yeah, I say
stream
theater.
got like 1,800 viewers
Yeah, but
over some bullshit.
yeah, they were going through and everyone was saying that Matt, I guess, had told, I believe it was Will or Big T, not to use grip like on the FAL. And then they went and he was like, why would they have done that? They've never used it before. And then somebody linked the stream where Big T was using it 24 hours prior. And so like slowly but surely like the truth is coming out as far as like all of these, I guess, conspiracy theories, but whew, you just gotta roll with the punches. Everyone
You
has
got
their
to.
own opinions.
Every storm dies down eventually.
Yeah.
This one is kind of like a class 1 hurricane. But
That is
This
ridiculous.
one's going away like fart in the wind, dude. It's
a fart in the wind?
yep, dude.
I don't know. Yeah, it is kind of. But the fact that we keep bringing him up makes it worse.
So let's move on to the next topic then.
Yeah,
Ego posts in the chat. He's like, we want Ego. So Ego, what did you want to come in here and chat about, bro?
Quiz is in here talking about score streaks.
Fizz, what time are we talking about score streak? Well, we'll get to that right about now. So, score streaks, what do you think about them? Actually, Deserto picked up score streaks. It's actually a big thing.
Yeah, actually, that is a big thing.
Yeah.
That we had like a mini rant that was actually a pretty big rant last night on Rambo's channel. Just like randomly, I didn't even realize how this is probably like 5 a.m. He had about 2,000 viewers, and me, him, Crim6, and Enable were actually talking about the other big topic of, and actually I would love to hear what Fizz has to say about this whole Halo situation, because that's
Fizz, you want to stop by? You got some free time right now? You're on Skype, just enjoying yourself or something, stopping the call. Hit me up on Skype. I don't know, maybe, wink. I'm eating a damn salad. Dude, you can do that and talk. Are you serious? Come on.
Alright, well,
No, I'll
let's
pose
go.
a question.
Dan, he's got 5 minutes.
He's got 5 minutes to eat a salad.
No, he said he'll join for 5 minutes. Call him in.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Oh, wait, hold on. Shit, I'm looking for Fizz. I should be looking for... There it is. Alright. Sitting here, waiting.
Yeah, before Fizz gets here, I walked into the lobby at 2 a.m. after the event was over and got like crucified
Alright.
by 30 people.
Let me mute the stream. I'm here. What's up?
What's up, Fliss?
Apparently Ego has some questions about this Halo thing going on. I don't know.
Alright, I'm eating my salad, so
I don't have questions specifically about that. I would love to just know your overall opinion on it, really, just because like last night, for example, we kind of had a mini rant. It was me, Rambo, Crim6, and Enable, and Crim6 and Enable were kind of talking about it, and from the sounds of it, a lot of Halo pros are already really starting to move over.
Well, yeah, I don't understand why they were holding on. I mean, it didn't look like Halo was going to get picked up. I mean, that they did obviously before the game came out, they did that tournament, and it appeared that there might be some working relationship. But Sundance has always had very cryptic tweets about Halo, and yeah, he compares Halo viewership. Of course, it had a ton of viewership. The game had never been hadn't even come out yet, and it was at it being played at its highest competitive level. So to compare that, that's like, okay, well then look at how the MW3 tournament or the Black Ops 2 tournament did in Germany or wherever they were at. That had like 60,000 people watching it or something like that. So it's like, if we're gonna go there in comparisons, but
yeah, and that wasn't even an event. That was just like a show.
Right, and they were like dicking around playing. It wasn't even like an organized tournament for a prize pool or anything like that. But anyway, to digress, I feel bad that they were even holding on because Halo was like it was on a downward spiral. So they should have jumped ships to Call of Duty a long time ago because they all knew at the end of the day how much Call of Duty was being supported from an esports perspective. And and they should have known that there's no way MLG is going to pick up multiple. There's a slight chance, but the probability of them picking up multiple console shooters on their circuit is highly unlikely. There would have to be a huge financial incentive for them to cover the overhead cost of doing that. So they would have to sell essentially two very large packages across two different console shooters, and that's just not likely. So anyway, I think it's great that Halo players are going to come over to the Call of Duty scene. I think it will increase the competition a little bit. It's not a game that that just translates over because it's a first-person shooter. You know, I mean, I think there's a lot of ins and outs to become a pro player that you have to learn at a very fine level. So I don't think pro players are going to be able to come over and in 3 months' time play at a really high level. Now, some of them will. I mean, look at Crim6. The kid is a beast, right? I mean, he's really talented at two very different console shooters. So I think there's a lot of things you could link up that these people will convert over to pro players at that
I'll
team.
be real, I was getting smacked.
Not all of them, though. It's not like a guarantee or a shoo-in by any means.
I'm not the best pro player, but I was getting smacked by Enable last night, and he's played Call of Duty for...
Because he plays, and you've been playing at a professional level for years, and you've not played at all. Like, right? I mean, very little. You've not invested hundreds of hours into that game like he has, like you have Call of Duty.
No, he was beating me in Call of Duty.
No, yeah, he was playing Call of Duty and beating him.
Oh, shit! Damn, suck.
No, but I haven't put time. But he definitely, I'll tell you this.
He's the same as Wyatt, so I don't know why you were surprised.
He kept asking him that last night if he was related to you, and thank God he's not. But but I'll tell you this: the gun skill's easy in Call of Duty, so that'll be there. Those kids will be able to kill people. It's just whether they'll be able to catch on. It's hard to win in Call of Duty. It's not hard to get killed, so we'll see how that goes. But I got one other thing for you, Fwiz. I think this is really interesting because I've known you since like before you started, and you've publicly said before that Puckett was like one of the guys who kind of really helped you learn to be a great commentator. And one of his last tweets before New Year's was goal of 2013.
I texted him too on New Year's when I tweeted that. Look, I know what you're talking about. The tweet where he talks about the voice of COD. I'm as probably cocky as a lot of you guys know as one can get. And I don't believe that one single person can be the voice of this game by any means, in any way, shape, or form. He's an arrogant person, as am I too, in many ways. He is arrogant at a whole nother level, because to say that, and I love the kid to death, so I still think he's great. I attribute a lot of my commentating success to him. This is totally something I would tell to his face, because I do still love the kid. To be the voice of COD, I think he would probably reword that again. I don't think he's would go back and change that maybe. I mean, maybe he would. But it's a pretty, lofty statement, right? I mean, I don't know how anybody could be... MLG only has X amount of tournaments in a year, right? And he does weekly warfare, and it's not like he's blowing people away there. So I just think to be the voice of COD is probably an overshot. With that said, I am very happy that he will be commentating Call of Duty, because to have another talented caster in the scene is only a good thing, right? I mean,
you see yourself commentating
with him?
Yeah.
Ask me, I would do it in a heartbeat. Yeah. But it's not like casting's my life.
I find it funny, man.
I'm not terrified by new people entering. Everyone's thinks that I have something against other.
Oh no, that's amazing. That's what we need. We're so short on casters. Like,
isn't it funny that Puckett really put no time into this Call of Duty casting? Like, he was essentially terrible. I'm not gonna lie. At casting Call of Duty, he didn't know like anything about it, and now a day after UMG, like the numbers are there and the teams are there. Like a day after, he's like, "Oh, no, dude."
It was kind of it was kind of scummy to say all of a sudden that in 1 year you're going to become the voice of Call of Duty. To do it in the way he did, and to do it during a very time-sensitive issue around Call of Duty being picked up over Halo, or so the foreshadowing seems to be. Yeah. As somebody that was a prominent figure in Halo, Puckett, that's not the thing that you want to just go out. And I understand, like, hey, they've got to get over it. He's got to move to commentate somewhere else. If Call of Duty died down and it was done with, I'd still want to commentate something else, because I really enjoy it. So you can't hate him for that. I'm glad he's coming over to Call of Duty, but I don't know. He's a very confident individual, and much like I am, so I don't fault him or have anything bad to say against it. But I laughed. That's why I made the tweet that I made, because I had to make fun of him. Because there's just, at the end of the day, again, no single person that could ever be the voice of Call of Duty. That's like blasphemy.
Speaking of the voices of Call of Duty, what did you think of Paradox and his fellow go-casters for the event?
Paradox. Oh, they did good. I like Paradox. I think for UMG, I really enjoyed like Rambo coming on. Big timer and were actually exciting. Like even hearing Merc was cracking me up because he was on with Rambo and
he was screaming.
Yeah. He would do like professional golf stuff on Search and Destroy, so they couldn't hear him, but Rambo was still commentating in his normal voice. So to hear him do like, it just sounded like a PGA announcer where he's like, "Oh, and." But it was just really funny. So I thought he did well, and just I think there's a lot of really talented casters, man. There's no doubt about them. That's awesome to hear, and I actually really enjoy hearing other people commentate. There's this one girl. Gosh, what is her name? She does Call of Duty 4. Pansy. She does Call of Duty 4 PC, and
I've seen her name circulating.
Yeah, dude, I've been promoting this woman. This woman is. She's amazing caster, especially for Call of Duty. So I got to figure out how to get her over from the PC.
She needs to come join Black Ops 2 console. What the
hell? Because I wanted to get her on for Frag Cup, but I found out about like a couple weeks beforehand, and she didn't have a console, and I didn't know that. So maybe next time we can figure out a way to get her a console and get her on, because she was awesome. She knows the game.
Let's go. Weekly Rant charity event.
UMG was cool seeing different people casting. Ego was on, actually. I made fun of him joking around because we do, but actually Ego was really good. I enjoyed him.
It was funny, dude. Ego, we're sitting there like watching Championship Sunday. We're sitting there in the chair. Ego's like, "Yo, check out these tweets. Yeah, look at all these
people actually liked my commentating. I was actually surprised. I've been around for a long time because I've never commentated ever.
Yeah,
I was surprised, but I don't think they like my casting at all. I just think they like.
No, they like the expert. Like that's Rambo and Revan can do like play-by-play and color because they're able to talk fast and do that, and they know the game well. And then I think your insight on the game and some of the things, people are always going to appreciate that as well if you can articulate in a way that's mildly entertaining. So
yeah,
I think anytime these pro players come on and they just like even Nate Shot, like it's good hearing all of these guys just from hearing their expert opinion on the game.
Yeah, it's crazy. Players are always really good casters, but then it's such a hard mixture when you deal with that.
About the hosting aspect that comes with commentating too. Like when you're at UMG, you're just sitting at a table and you're not throwing their commercials, you're not teeing up advertisements, you're not like going by a run a show script, and that's like where then that's a professional caster at another level, and that's what takes time. So those guys, as you get gigs and stuff, you learn to do that more. But if you're like casting at MLG and Rambo and Merc were up there or whatever, not playing and were up there by themselves, they would not be able to like handle that day-to-day run a show through the commentaries. Like that would take time for them to learn that.
Yeah. I don't know. I got to go up once for MLG, and I actually thought it was kind of easier because you actually have like breaks and like a pace to it. You know what I mean? Compared to
yeah, you can
there's just breaks. Like this winging it feel where you're just like going nonstop, just on the fly with everything.
Yeah,
that's
no, but it's cool, man. I love it. I think it's really entertaining that a lot of people are in.
Stop the chuckling, Brian.
It was awesome. The matches were great
Twitter's
too.
cracking me up right now.
I know, I see it.
I have a good. I'm gonna put you on the spot with a question a little bit quiz. And I think this is just an important question for the community in general. There's so much complaining, right? There's always complaining about everything, score streak, shotguns, whatever the next problem is. What would, not a solution, but what would you say is the best thing for us to do as a community to be able to come together and instead of being like, this sucks or this is messed up or this needs to be banned, what's the best way we could go about actually trying to find legitimate solutions?
No, I think, look, I mean, a lot of these people are in an age where you're not necessarily immature, but you kind of 18, 19, and 20, I'd say 16 to 19, particularly for me, is when you are at your angriest, the mentality that the world is against you, and a lot of just young men go through this, right? And a lot of us are passionate and aggressive as it is, so it's I don't think you're going to be able to change that Call of Duty community that partakes in esports, because that is the age demographic in which it is. I think over time, you're seeing a lot of these pro players that are in the spotlight are getting older and are starting to act more mature. Now, that's not to say that there is not still a ton of immature players, but you look at some of these players that are starting to become more and more mature than what they were 2 or 3 years ago. But this community, it is what it is, and it's going to be a cesspool of a lot of people that are angry, and they have a huge social media presence, so they feel like it is a platform for them to vocalize that anger, and there is a lot of people that are young as well that are following these people that feel into it. I think Halo shot themselves in the foot for Halo Reach in particular because of how much that happened in that community, and Call of Duty has done a lot of it. It hasn't been detrimental, but again, there's a lot riding on this year too, you know?
Yeah,
there is. This is a huge year, especially with I think UMG was the spark this community needed. I honestly do.
Yeah, UMG is really good because the physical presence, it holds players accountable. Fred Cups and MLG at the online pro circuit events, the OPCEs that we did, it just allows for you to never have to. You can be a complete coward because you hide behind the forums or at that time the forums. It's mostly Twitter now. And then you don't need to be held accountable for your actions. And as you start doing more physical events and people are showing up, there's more respect and appreciation that happens. I mean, there'll still be animosity between certain people, like Nate Shot Nakes, but some of that stuff you just need to move on.
Damn, dude.
I like how you just slipped that in there.
It was so quick too. It was so quick.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I mean,
I don't know. I don't think there's a lot you can do to change it, though, man. I think it needs.
Before we get on to that, whatever other topic that led into, I was just posting in the Skype chat, for example, right there, because we've been doing the pro discussion a lot on things. It's like a public forum, but mostly only the pros posted it. And one of the issues we've had, we're always trying to discuss how we can add more maps, or just what issues, just making sure the issues are out there and trying to actually handle them reasonably instead of raging on Twitter about score streaks or whatever it was at the time.
Yeah.
One of the honestly big issue right now is people talking about just a bunch of different issues on Hijacked Hardpoint, which we think is one of the most fun maps, most entertaining.
People are watching.
Yeah.
The problem with Hijacked Hardpoint at UMG was the fact that they weren't updated and the contest
Pre-patch, yeah.
That was the biggest issue.
There's
That's what makes it
other contest spots that aren't patched. The one where you can, if there's actually a spot, which is kind of interesting because everybody complains about the underground hardpoint just being it's really is unreasonable, but that's whatever. My issue is there's a spot for that where if you go to the jacuzzi in the middle of the map and you just sit there,
throw a grenade down there.
No, you can climb up and down. And if you just climb up and down jacuzzi, every time you climb up, it contests the underground hardpoint.
Now, I remember seeing that. Who was doing that? Was that
Well,
Fizzle
I mean,
doing that?
I'm assuming Treyarch is going to patch that again, though.
The weeks just said, with these guns that are OP and things like this, you have to assume that Treyarch is going to handle it, and we either need to put a hold on a weapon or put a hold on a map mode if it's something that's out of control. We usually should never happen with a weapon. But these maps and modes, maybe you do put a hold on it.
Instead of calling them bans, we call them holds. I really like that, actually, because it's helped us out a lot for when they do patch stuff.
Did you see, though, how the next map pack is going to add an SMG How is that gonna work?
Yeah, no.
I heard that is for
They're bringing
zombies.
Yeah, it's supposed to
You
be
know,
for
they
zombies.
could bring new guns into DLC. That'd be crazy to see people. I mean, I should say not never, but to see somebody else that has a fucking submachine gun that you don't have because you didn't download a DLC, I'd go
It's
crazy.
pay to
If that
win. Yeah.
Exactly. That's why we haven't ever played with DLC stuff
It
before,
didn't
right?
say it was only.
place and competitive, man.
It didn't
No,
say it was.
I 100% disagree. I fully plan that DLC. Why does DLC not have a place in competitive?
Because everybody has to buy it
Yeah,
then.
everyone has to buy it. Yeah.
Only if you're trying to play competitively.
Sure, but then you just limit the pool, man. Oh, I can't play competitive now because I didn't.
But you don't think it's better for the viewers?
No,
You don't think it's better for viewers to see new maps? Like instead of
Hold on. Here's an idea. What if they put the
Legends has
DLC?
one fucking map, bro. Every
so many loud
Hang on,
voices.
hang on. I'm gonna moderate this a little bit. Pat, go ahead. What did you want to say?
What if they put like DLC for free in the Champions League?
Yeah, that's interesting. To be honest with you, that's you could try it out. It would promote it's probably the smartest thing you've ever said. To be honest with you.
That's rough, man.
You know what I'm saying though? Like if you didn't if you wanted to check it out, you'd have to play in the league, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's a good idea. Maybe you should tweet.
It promotes the league
Actually,
play.
I got something interesting that came to me over Skype from a guy from Neslo. I'm sure some of you know who he is. He said, "What if the first hard point on hijack started in the underground?"
Yeah, but it would still get there eventually,
Yeah,
and someone would still win that first battle and have total control for the last 40 seconds. But
I don't think so, dude. I think it's kind of like
I don't see stuff like that.
the
changing.
down low one. The reason you see one team dominating it for a long period of time is because they decide to go there first, and like once they're there, it's like impossible to break. But
Yeah, it's
when
a bunker, man.
But when you're off break, it's going to be like bear spawns rushing to it. Like there's 4 people that can come in. You can't really see each
I
doorway.
mean, there's no harm in it, but it's just the type of thing that I just don't see. Like, come on now, who's gonna get that done? Like, you know what I mean? That's not gonna happen. I just
You
don't.
brought it up.
No, I just what? No, someone else
I brought it up, bro.
Oh well, I mean, I don't really.
I don't. I agree with you, Pat. It might be a little better to play, but I just don't think it could happen. That's what I'm saying. That's what it sucks. Like we're in situations, but like Fliz said, I don't mind putting holds on things though.
I think that would create more problems than you think.
Yeah, especially if it was a weapon and shit.
Yeah,
I think
Revan
Revan makes a pretty good point. He says the best thing we can do is extend the boundaries to the underground hallways.
I agree. He put that in that thread, but that's still in the same boat. Like, how are we gonna get that to work? I don't even think he could explain that to Fliz. I don't know if he's played enough.
Play cargo hardpoint.
Yeah, I heard cargo hardpoint's good, and we really have to be. We're holding a demolition tournament right now. I think Rambo's team's like Karma and them in the
to ask you about that. How is that coming along? What's the general consensus of it?
Before I jump into that, I just want to say we're doing stuff like that because we want to be able to try and expand and to make sure we're really actually giving everything a try before you mess with it. But from the looks of it, the main complaint is that it definitely needs to be at least from what I talked to some people, they're like there needs some spawn delay. So even 2.5 seconds wouldn't be bad from both the way I look at it, at least. I'm sure people will argue about that, but no spawn delay is just insane. It's like really hard to plant bombs.
Yeah. That would
But
be
like,
hard
in the
point.
past,
That'd be
it
like
must-
hard point search and destroy.
5 seconds spawn delay. So like that seems like that's like a really good
Are you talking about demolition?
Yeah.
We held
You don't like that?
the main
Hey, we
complaint, but at the same time, it's still not that. I don't think it's viable. I'm just saying that would be our change to it if we use it in the future because we're just gonna try and appeal to everybody. But I don't see it being involved in competitive.
Yeah,
but
demo has always been a problem game type in every Call of Duty. It's always been who can get the team locked in the
What made
first.
it good?
Yeah.
What made it playable in Modern Warfare 2? Because I didn't play that much back then.
I don't think it was playable.
It was, but it was like a lot of like setting up the spawn trap. I mean, like
Yeah, it was a big difference.
it was the whole point of the game was like setting up spawn traps, like getting a bomb site, holding it, the extension, and just destroying them. I mean,
But what made that work over like the other?
There was no other game type.
afterwards?
Well,
Oh,
that and the overtime. Like the overtime was, like this overtime just doesn't make sense. That overtime was.
Yeah, like 34 we played Sabotage, which was like it could be an endless game. Like that game could be like a minute, or it could be like 3 hours. So obviously, being dramatic, but Sabotage is fun. Demolition's fun to play, but when you start talking about how it plays out in competitive and keeping the game balanced, it gets a little funky.
I'd actually like to ask Pat, don't you think War was an amazing competitive game?
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I agree. War was a lot of fun.
There was War and
that was like a TheWRant trademark. COD 3 World at War had War, and then Black Ops just disappeared for Black Ops, and that shit was.
I can't believe TheWRant took it out because they had it in World at War too.
Yeah, that
was the best game type in World at War. Like
it had a great pace to it. It's like domination, but with just
even the beginning dialogue with the voiceovers. War. I mean, that was badass. I mean, it was just all around badass.
Yeah, like if you think how sick it would be if there was like Hardpoint War S&D, like that'd be nuts.
No, Domination's not a good one either. Just reading the time, we've done Domination in previous competitive Call of Duties, and it's just like it's like watching fucking paint dry.
Yes.
Yeah. War is like Domination, but with a lot of action.
Yeah. War, yeah.
And Domination even got to the point where it was like, okay, let's set up this, let's set up that. Okay, now let's spawn trap.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I think it plays out on this game.
The only thing that Domination on Firing Range was the only game I could watch that was a Domination game. I don't know why I enjoyed Firing Range so much.
That's because the map was small enough. I think it was
exciting.
The map was small enough.
Summit were about to
I think they were still too grenade based. It was like the best teams were the teams that hit the grenades.
Well, Firing Range was definitely. I mean, so was Summit, but Firing Range was real bad grenade based.
Yeah, that B flag, man.
Anytime you can kill someone from A to C is not fair.
Yeah.
All right, dudes. Well, I'm about to bounce out. And Emily, you guys did a great job at UMG, by the way.
Thank you.
Look, if Rambo wants to call him, he knows my Skype, dude. He can hit me up. He hasn't hit me up yet.
He's shooting with like 1,500 people though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people are retarded. Get the hell out of here. You're retarded. But I mean, there's Aches. You're in here now. Let's talk about UMG a little bit. You guys were in the losers bracket all day Sunday.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't most of your matches go to the final map? Wasn't it like a freaking just gritty?
Here, I'll read it to you because I saved it in my phone as we went
Not
along.
versus influence.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. So the Saturday night is after we got knocked out by SOAR. We played 3 rounds in the loser bracket. We played I think 2, 3, and 4. And we played Respect 2-0, New Breed 2-0, Influence 3-0. And we went home. We woke up Sunday. I think we all woke up around like 9 a.m. and got there. We played FaZe. We won 3-2. We played Juke. We won 3-2. We played Icons. We won 3-1. We played RNX. We won 3-2. Envy 3-1. Perico 4-1. And then we got to the finals, and we won the first best of 5 3-1, and then we lost the second one 2-3.
That's a freaking long ass day.
Yeah. What Samzors tweeted me, which I didn't even recognize, we knocked out 7 of the 12 pro teams that attended.
Yeah, I saw that.
2 of them were me and OpTic. So there was only 3 pro teams, which is Twisted Method, Fear, and Obey that we didn't get to play.
And Paul ended up knocking out Obey, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, it was a dope event. I just wish that all the Xboxes would have been up to date, which I think Jeff said that.
No, they
I don't think it wasn't your fault, right? Yeah, this is what Haggy tweeted. He said that that because like someone tried to unplug their Ethernet cable from their Xbox and then go into System Link, and it didn't, like, even though he had updated his Xbox, that there's something wrong with the Treyarch System Link LAN system. That if you don't have a network connection, like signed in, you won't have an updated LAN.
Yeah, you need a gamer tag.
So you have to have a profile that has live on it?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Why?
I'm clueless when it comes to that.
And that could be an issue. It's interesting. Rambo said that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think Rambo tested it last night too when he pulled his internet out.
That's a big issue on their part though.
Yeah, this is a point in time where we need to come together and collectively make something to present to David Vonderhaar about it, and I'm sure he'll fix it.
I'm almost positive he will,
Because
since he sent DMs. Like Emily said, he sent DMs. The biggest problem is that there was
he DM'd
pre-patch.
me
So.
on Saturday and said, where is it? He said, my only constructive criticism would be to not play on land pre-patch. But of course, like at that point in time, I had no idea that the issue was that you needed an active gamer tag on those. I had no idea.
100% sure it's the issue, but you guys said that they updated those boxes, right?
Yeah, that was.
You have to be, like, it doesn't matter about the boxes. You have to be like.
You have to update Call of Duty.
Yeah, you had to be online for the patch to take
Yeah,
effect.
Paul, it doesn't matter that the Xboxes aren't updated. Like right now, your Xbox is updated, but if you unplug your Ethernet cable and you go into System Link LAN with not a gamer tag, then you're gonna be on pre-patch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it seems like.
Yeah, that's gotta be.
Sucks.
A big issue.
But I mean, I'm sure that's something that they recognize now.
Yeah.
Oh, now, yeah, and I'm sure it'll get fixed ASAP.
Well,
Yeah,
Vaughn's actually in the chat now, so he's here and he's listening. So,
man, Vaughn is in this chat a lot. What do we have to do to get him on? That's what I
want to thank him, dude.
We have to jump through the PR.
Dude, what hoops do I have to jump through, Dave? Honestly, just give me the hoops and I will start jumping.
Vaughn says the FAL is fine. I agree the FAL is fine. I don't think it was fine before the patch, though. I don't know. Big time. I didn't really use it, but
I know Mark is in the chat now. I don't know if he wants to hop on here to talk about UMG a little bit. He was I was watching Schoolie's morning COD show this morning, and Mark was actually in the chat, and we were talking about a couple things.
Yeah, I didn't get to catch that. What did they cover?
A lot of different things. I mean, it's kind of just like any like morning radio talk show that's just focused on COD. It's a pretty good listen. I sat there the entire time and listened. I enjoyed it. So it's just schooling and advice in a chat.
Thank you, Vaughn.
Wow, I'm just here because
no, hold on. Can I ask him the question about the whole thing?
Who?
Vaughn. Like, I don't know when he hopped in here for the question about the issue with the patch.
Oh yeah, sure, go for it.
Okay, so as you DM me on Saturday, Vaughn, and you asked the question, or you gave the criticism that everything should have been played afterwards after the patch. How does that affect? Like maybe Ego can explain it, but as of Friday night, after two teams had finished it, they updated the Xbox, and then I guess they unplugged the Ethernet cord, and then when we went to System Link, the updates are no longer there.
Yeah, basically,
is that something? So you're playing pre-patch again.
You're signed in.
Yeah. I have Mark.
Then I guess Rambo tested this last night.
I like how we're all just waiting for his name to pop up in the chat.
I know, right? We're all sitting here. We're our eyes are glued to the screen right now. I need some elevator music. You don't have the hot fix for it.
Well, here the deal was, Vaughn, is that we had updated them, and I even switched out an Xbox and it made me update then. But when we go into the System Link settings, the patch is no longer there.
Yeah, like right now, my Xbox is completely updated. I'm online, but as soon as I unplug that Ethernet cable and I go to create a regular profile and go into System Link, I don't have the patch. Even though my Xbox is completely updated with the patch, I don't have the patch when I disconnect the Ethernet
cable.
My main issue is how we don't really, unless we're looking at the version, we don't really know what we're on. You know what I mean, Pat? So
yeah,
how do we know what the difference?
The issue.
It's in the top right, Paul.
The issue
Aggie tweeted out and he said, "Guys, what is the top right numbers on your screen?" And he
say we have the patch that the FL is updated.
No. He had it what we were playing on was what the very game came out on. Like the first thing the game was ever out on. That's what we were playing on. Like assuming that it had never had any updates. That's what we were playing on. It's like the very first thing.
Vonderhaar in the chat said, "What if it's the same profile that is online and offline?"
Yeah, but we had no access to online profiles though. That's the thing.
Okay. No, I mean I'm getting his voice out there so that we can settle this.
Well, and what I'm thinking is because people had come onto the Xbox and they just created a new profile. I don't know if it's just because of that. Like,
Let me test this right now.
Is
Yeah,
the patch dependent on which profile it's downloaded to? And if so, do you have to download it on each?
I thought it just downloads it to the box though, not the profile.
That's what I thought as well. But
if you pull your Ethernet cable and create a new profile, then yeah, right, you won't. So pull your Ethernet, create a new profile on Xbox Live, like just a regular name. You don't have to go through like the signing up for Xbox. Just create a profile.
Like you would on a LAN, how they all create their own names.
Go into System Link, and then you will not have the updated patch.
Yo, if Vine actually came on here, I'm not going to sleep tonight because I'm gonna pick his brain for about 2 hours. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
He said he'll report back.
He's doing it right now.
Once you create the new profile, you don't get the update.
But we do have.
Yeah, while we're waiting, we got Mark in here. I know.
Hey, how's it going?
To say that, but I don't know, man. What did you think of UMG?
You know, I mean, I think I think that they I don't know if they stumbled upon it or if it was just a lot of hard work or they just did, they were very deliberate in what they tried to do with the event. But I mean, it sounds like they kind of got the Goldilocks effect. I mean, they're right there, lightning in a bottle, just right between what MLG's trying to do and what like Icons in the online space is trying to do, and they just everything came together just right. I think the real question is, can it be repeated? Can we do it again? Right? That's the key.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the real key, and I think they can. I mean, it sounds like they have the motivation and the will to do it again. And I mean, there was a lot of things going into that. I think it's ironic because in 2011 the whole Quantic OpTic rivalry was raging, and when we transitioned the team over to Complexity, of course now this is a new name, right, for the same team. But it's a name that means, I think, in the esports scene a little bit more than maybe even Quantic did. Complexity's been around for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So it even adds even more storyline to the whole thing. And I think, as far as what happened, after the event was over, I mean, I feel like it just kind of, the intimacy of the setting, the fever pitch at which, these guys are competing at this high level. And if you know the backstory about, Nate Shot's place in the community versus Ake's place in the community and how, how the whole storyline, it actually really makes a lot of sense that there's a lot of emotions running high at that moment. It wasn't necessarily what we'd like to see, but I mean, I think the event format and the intimacy of that environment really brought that out in a very poignant way. I think that was really special. Not necessarily, like I said, what we want to have happening, but if we can present that through production in a really positive way, but still connect the viewers with that player experience, of that emotional experience, that's powerful. That's good. People want to watch that. That's better than just watching a game being played, and that's where the hook has been with StarCraft and LOL and those other games. The game's only 20% of the scene. The rest of it's the personalities.
Yeah, Paul, that 23.0.1-1 was what we were getting at the event, and that's basically the very first thing, assuming that you just put Black Ops in your Xbox and you have never downloaded an update. So it's like, think about all the updates that Treyarch has done since the game came out, but you're basically playing on the very first one.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah,
it's like
cool. I mean,
I want to ask Mark a few questions here, people.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, dude, I know you've been sticking around. The whole Quantic thing disbanding and all that jazz went on, and I don't know. I still been seeing you've been on a couple shows. I think you were on the Pro Recap show last week or something, or a couple weeks ago. I can't remember exactly. But you've been sticking around. You've been getting your face out there. I'm wondering what are you doing right now?
Well, it's funny because, I mean, I got into this originally, out of a love of the activity, philanthropically, just wanting to support these Call of Duty teams, and then it kind of grew into StarCraft and something that was way, way bigger than I ever had imagined it. And along the way, I kind of became this public figure, at least in the StarCraft scene, and that was never part of the plan.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of adjust to that. Now that I'm kind of used to it, and I realize that I've learned a lot of lessons over the last few years, how to do and how not to do things, and how the industry works. I feel like I can help, people that need some guidance or need some help or whatever to try to get to where they want to go.
So you're acting like a consultant now in a way?
I mean, I guess. I mean, I'm not charging anybody anything for it. I mean, it's more just a matter
consultant.
Yeah, it's kind of like I mean, I feel like I got a lot of reward out of this. I'm very proud of what we did with Quantic. we ceased esports operations. It was the right decision at the time. It was the right decision for the business. It was the right decision for the players. You haven't heard anybody say that we screwed anybody over. People didn't get paid. That's because everybody got paid.
Yeah.
And, in a sense, we sacrificed the business in the best interest of the players and the staff. But, I mean, it wasn't a crash landing. It was just an emergency landing. I mean, we're on the runway still. We could refuel that thing with empty cargo, be back in the air. Will that happen? I don't know. I mean, anything's possible. But it would have to be the just right set of circumstances for that to happen. I think the business climate and the environment needs to change. So, But, I mean, it was a very rewarding experience. And, Aches and these guys have always had a really special place in my heart. So I was really pleased to be able to bring another Tier 1 esports global brand in complexity into the scene to kind of take our place and and continue to push alongside of Eon, OpTic, and Envy that have been trying to increase professionalism and all that kind of stuff in the space. I think it's a really good vibe right now. I mean, compared to where we were in 2011, I mean, this is the moment, guys. Everything is happening right now. This is prime time. Everybody's watching. If another 2 or 3 of these events happen, we get 20,000 on stream, MLG goes in the circuit, this thing could literally go cataclysmic. It could be huge. And that's exactly that's the grassroots community movement that we've been waiting for. We know the Call of Duty community's out there. We know they're playing the game. We know they could get excited about this. Now they're actually watching the game they're playing. It's the perfect storm.
I know, right? I've been saying since the end of UMG, this is the spark that the COD community needed, and it's up to us to take advantage of it while we got it. So, but that's awesome that you're a pro bono consultant, man. I mean, I got you on speed dial. I don't know, maybe if I get like personal number or something.
Like I said, I don't know everything, and there is no business manual. There's no owner's manual for this industry. I mean,
but there is just experience.
It's about making mistakes and learning from them.
Exactly, and you've got that experience. People like me would love to feed off that. So, but I mean, that's awesome, man. I don't know. Vaughn is testing stuff. I mean, we can get back into this whole patch thing. Vaughn has gone MIA. He's going back in the COD cave.
Yeah, he's testing the patches right now.
I have a question for you guys.
All right.
I mean, so after this UMG thing was a real hit, these other guys came out and they said they had this other tournament series they're going to do, and maybe they're going to do it, maybe they're not going to do it, whatever. But I mean,
the NCG guys.
I mean, if you look at what happened in StarCraft, it was just MLG, in 2010, and there's a few token events.
Yeah.
And in 2011, we basically saw like an exponential growth in magnitudes of upwards of 40 events in 2011. Even more in 2012, to a level of saturation where there's StarCraft event every day, 24 hours a day almost, and there's so much StarCraft, nobody could possibly watch all of it, and it's the numbers have been dropping, and we've seen that kind of an effect. Do you think maybe we're at the precipice of that with Call of Duty? Do you think we're going to see like a flurry of people pour money into the tournament scene and start to try to do this? And
no, not yet. Not yet. The only way I see that happening is if Infinity Award announces that they're not doing a Call of Duty next year, and we see a 2 or 3 year life cycle with Black Ops 2.
Yeah, because Black Ops 2 is the right title. I mean,
it is the right title.
Yeah.
It is 100% the title we need to get behind. And the only problem I foresee is if another Call of Duty comes out next year, and it's made by a company that has nothing to do with esports, has no ambition to promote it, and then we get stuck in that same crappy year.
Grim just brought this up. Or not just brought this up, but the other day he was talking about it. What if somehow Treyarch kind of, I don't want to say got together with Infinity Ward, but like more so advised them on what they have to do?
Well, I think that's a continuous issue. There's always this struggle going on between the development studio and the actual publisher. So like, for instance, EA really wants esports in Battlefield, but DICE just hasn't gotten around to it.
Yeah.
Treyarch has had an initiative at the developer studio level to really push esports as an initiative, and of course, Activision has been very supportive of that. Infinity Ward hasn't displayed that kind of initiative. How much power Activision has to compel that initiative out of them based on what Treyarch's doing, I don't know, and that's kind of hard to say. I mean, it's anybody's guess, really.
Yeah.
It would definitely produce a different result, even if it was a favorable one. It would be different still. I mean, I hate to say it, but I'd almost like to just see the Call of Duty series just go to Treyarch. They can go to
That's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying, man. We need because that
go to a different model,
the one thing that Halo had was that they had a new title come out every 2 to 3 years, and that's the one thing that Call of Duty doesn't have. We have a new title coming out every year, and yes, people can argue that we need it to last for more than a year for this game to be viable for viewership and growth and all this stuff, but everyone knows that once that new title comes out, everyone's going to be wanting to play that and watch that game. Like,
I mean, Battlefield 3, the premium edition was $10 less than the title itself. So I mean, they actually released the title, and then a year later they released another.
They did.
DLC.
I didn't even know they did.
Battlefield Premium. That was $49.99. So I mean, they basically doubled the life cycle of their product with with the DLC effectively, and everybody bought it.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I don't know how the business model works with Call of Duty as well.
That's essentially the same game, though, right? Just with DLC. Like that's what it was. Like, I mean, that's what you said. It was just Battlefield 3, but DLC.
More maps, more weapon systems, more everything.
Okay.
I mean, they're saying the prospect.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, we've seen Call of Duty evolve, but the the underlying engine hasn't really. Like, I haven't seen the kind of change, the marked difference that I saw with Black Ops 2 in any prior version of Call of Duty. I mean, Black Ops 2 is brilliant. It's colorful. It's beautiful. It's exciting. It's everything you'd want in a shooter, and it's still familiar. So I mean. And it's got all the features that we need. It's the perfect title. And I mean, we saw it with Halo. We had perfect titles with Halo, and then they made a new one that wasn't as good. Cross our fingers, I guess.
Definitely. I mean, I don't even know who's making the next Call of Duty game. Who's making the Modern Warfare 4 or whatever?
Did they announce it?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I remember hearing rumors that it's like the company that made Tony Hawk or some crap like that.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Like, why would you have some skateboard game? Like, why? I don't know.
But I mean, the bottom line is
speculations at this point.
No, it is speculation, but at the same.
Go ahead.
But at the same time, this company needs. I mean, it should have been making the game already, right? It takes about 2 years to produce a game, doesn't it?
Very, very capital and time-intensive activity. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think what it was the multiplayer. That's the Tony Hawk. Whoever made the Tony Hawk game was going to make the multiplayer for Modern Warfare 4 or something like that. Is the rumor I heard. Now, I'm not saying it's true or not, but I don't know. I mean, you'd think it would be out by now who's making the game and who's making the multiplayer since it's supposed to come out in November. I mean, that's 11 months away.
The industry is really good about keeping that kind of stuff quiet.
Yeah.
It's actually funny because all the people in the industry usually know, but they just don't tell anybody. But what we saw, I think what we saw this weekend, guys, was really exciting. It's the vibe, the format, the raw, visceral, purist nature of the gameplay. The production level could be increased. Things could be improved, but I mean, overall, I think this is the gold standard now. Everybody's going to be trying to replicate this. Problems aside, and we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens with MLG. We're going to see what happens. I know IPL didn't make it. I guess it didn't happen. They tried, but it didn't happen or something. So, I'm really hopeful and optimistic. I think this is the year for Call of Duty, man. This is what we've been waiting for.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely what we've been waiting for.
I just can't believe the view numbers at what was it, 2:30 Eastern?
Yeah, it got up to 20
in the morning.
Gs.
I mean, that was crazy in itself.
Well, that's the thing. If you put in 2011, Quantic v OpTic, Leverage v OpTic on a feature stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was the one match that peaked the stream for the entire weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, these two teams, they have it's a rivalry for the ages, and much like Envy and Fear, So I mean, if you get your finals with these two teams, it's going to be a ringer every time, especially this close.
Yeah, but then you end up with the whole it was set up. These two teams were set
here's
up
the thing, though.
there,
These two teams could have met for 5th and 6th place, and it still would have brought in a 20K.
It still would have peaked the stream, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's the story behind it. That's what it is, and the community doesn't only buy that story; they're co-writing it with us now. That's what's so cool about this. So I mean, Eggs pushed so and so and everything. Like, everybody's got this whole they're part of that experience.
Emotions,
Yes.
were tense right there. I mean, you just
Exactly.
lost. I mean, Nate Shot just won. He's over there, you know, doing his whole like everyone
And
does
these
the trash
kids-
talk, and
kid-
then
no,
it's
there's
just
like
emotions
65
flew.
There's like 65 people on the planet who play at this level. These kids know each
Yeah.
other all very well. They roughhouse all the time. They, you know, talk shit to each other, whatever. You know, I mean, they're just, they were pumped. That's what it really was. They were pumped more than it was them trying to be disrespectful. And I think the moment it happened, everybody was just like, oh, well, we didn't mean to do that.
I mean, in my honest opinion, I mean, that was dumb, but I mean, those two teams right there, you're absolutely right. It wouldn't have drawn what it did if it had been any other teams.
Honestly, though, if it was at MLG
in Chicago with an OpTic heavy crowd screaming their heads out, like, come on, you know, there's a risk. Yeah. Sorry.
And you had more people in the chat pulling for complexity.
I just want to point something out real quick.
Mm-hmm.
If this was at MLG, and if some of the stuff that was being said on main stage would have been said at an MLG stage, people would have had to have put their controllers down and sat timeout. I guarantee it.
Yeah, but this is an MLG.
I'm just saying, but you know, maybe rules need to be adapted.
MLG doesn't let you cross because there's two refs sitting in between each stations. You can't cross. Like that's.
But even still,
it's a much larger format. And look, Mrs. Violence had the same argument in the chat earlier yesterday on the other show that I was in the chat for. I mean, basically, you're right. We need some regulation. We need some governance to wrap around this. But we need that governance to be established in advance, not as a reaction.
Yeah,
to
you can't do that as soon as it happens.
Yeah. So, you know, like, the reason that these players in the NFL get fined millions of dollars for saying something stupid is because the rules were set up to fine them millions of dollars for saying something stupid before they said it.
Yeah.
So we needed to make some decisions as a community about what is and is not acceptable, and then once those, you know, modicums of how we're supposed to operate and behave are established, then of course everybody, like, for example, the whole issue about, like, was the match fixed or was the map pool was decided a certain way. Like, look, okay, like in esports, right? Like, ask Complexity, ask EG, these Counter-Strike teams from 10 years ago, right? I mean, you can talk about the format, you can say extended series in MLG sucks, you can talk about the way the map selection is done sucks, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about, but you never question the call, or you never question the way that the actual event was conducted and the calls that were made by the admins.
The only thing
that's so tacky in esports, that's like a no-no. You shouldn't do that. But see, Call of Duty's not like that. It's different. You know, it's younger, it's newer. So
the only thing that I saw, I saw all the shit like, oh, it was fixed. Like, I don't agree it was fixed or anything like that. I think the biggest issue was with the maps. Like, what the debate was, that you guys didn't have like every round, like every scenario pre-planned out for the maps, which was like, I mean, I understand it's like, I think that's where we come to the point where like we are spoiled with MLG, but like on MLG, like the maps aren't made up on spot. You know, they have like printed out packets of what would happen if there's a continuation between this team, it would be these maps. If it's not, it would go to these maps.
It's all written, like the MLG, the rule set's written, it's like 45 pages, dude. You guys sit there and dig through it in the middle of the
Right, and absolutely. I mean, those are things that everyone works on and changes. But I mean, the argument that some teams were like, and I went into this a little bit earlier before you got in, the argument that like some maps were played more than others, like that's simply because, I mean, you guys, it was different for you because you guys dropped down. I think it was, what was it, like Winners 2 or Winners 3? When you guys dropped, you guys started playing best of 3 and best of 5. And then the more that winners dropped down in the losers bracket, I mean, just the way that those maps were formed, if you 3-0 and it's a best out of 5, those other 2, like, I can't just put it in the next rotation because you guys didn't play it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People complain about extended series in MLG, for example, for years and years and years. Everybody accepts the fact that extended series is still there. I mean, STC probably would have beat Lenok if he didn't have to play the second set. We would have won MLG Anaheim. Okay, but the thing is that it's just not the way it happened. So there's no point even going back to talk about it until the actual rule sets change. It doesn't matter. It's the regulations of the gameplay, the game type. So I mean, the trash talking in Call of Duty is very much a part of the scene. It just needs to be presented in a way that's actually professionally positive, and
it needs to be toned down.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily toned down. I think it's more about
if you heard Killa,
you don't need oh, that guy. No, I'm not talking about the trash talk after the fact. I'm talking about the at event.
No, this was at the event.
In the game.
Like
I think there's some foul language that we could probably do without. There's got to be some basic principles around that. But I mean, the excitement of the players, the let's go, right? All the yelling, right? That's part of this game.
No, that's
part
not
of this
what
community.
that's not what
You
we're
gotta like
discussing.
keep it like PG-13-ish.
Yes,
Like some people
exactly.
are, some people are a little out of hand.
Let CBSI sell ads over it, and then we're fine. That's what it's about. You know, and the sponsors let the sponsors get what they need, but the fans want that emotion. They really want that storyline. They want that experience. They want to hear people yelling at each other. They want people hear at the fever pitch of competition. That's what it's all. That's what it's about. And like if you go to StarCraft, it's the same thing. Even the Korean players, you know, they talk smack. They interview these guys before the matches just so they can like give them an opportunity to talk about how, you know, they're going to slay the dragon or whatever it is, whatever the the Reddit fantastical term of the day is. But yeah.
But
yeah,
I don't know. We've touched on a lot of things tonight. We've had some awesome guests. I mean, the show's bordering 2 hours long now. I don't know how much longer I can go because I have work. Is there anything that any of you guys want to touch on before I close this out, or anybody?
I don't have anything.
Anybody?
No.
I think we all need to be there for if UMG comes out and does this again, right?
Yeah.
We gotta rally behind them like we did before. Like I think that there's like now the call has been made, right? Whether it's UMG or it's another event or whatever. I mean, can we as a community get behind a regional LAN like this again? That's the question.
Oh, we can.
Look,
as long as the Weekly Rant is here, we can.
Can we recreate the magic? Right?
But I don't think it's so much like the term as like a local LAN. Like I think the reason why this one was so big and the reason why it had so much like support, I guess you could say, is that there was every professional Call of Duty team out there right now there, except for I think 1 or 2. But I mean, even there were players from those teams.
They were all there. Every pro team.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps saying Vaughn has something to say. Hold on. Apparently everyone's freaking out right now. Vaughn has something to say. Let's give the man his ground, even though I think he should be in the Skype call, but you know.
Freaking out in that look. He's so
I like to exaggerate things, okay?
When you have 200,000 Twitter followers, you're that composed.
I know, right? So, bottom line. All right, I'm sure he's typing right now. Everyone hold your phone. Wow, we're all just like patiently waiting.
With how silent it is right now, did you guys hear how silent it was during the last match?
Dude, it's because everyone was dead tired.
That was insane.
I think everyone was like making jokes about it. You could literally hear a pin drop.
Dude, we
you
were
seriously
so tired.
could.
I still had to drive
was so
5
loud
hours
and then
home
so
after
quiet.
that.
It wasn't.
So cool,
it wasn't the fact that anybody was like tired or anything, dude. It was just so quiet because everybody was like into it. Like I remember a few times
There
people
you go.
would speak
Vaughn
up.
said it.
You had a great event. It was a lot of fun. 1, Emily Grader. 2, Aches is okay. Dude, Aches, how did you feel when you got that tweet from Vaughn saying you mad?
I was happy as hell, dude. I gained 1,500 followers in like 20 minutes. I was like, what?
That was crazy.
I thought it was so perfect. It was like UMG, you know, you mad, right? You know, and then he's like, you mad?
Dude,
and then it's like, are you mad? Like the whole event made him mad. It was just really funny.
Did
I
you
was
see
like,
that the girl from the I Like Daily or I Like Girls Daily Twitter
OpTic
out
Love.
as well?
Yeah, what the
Like
hell?
the fact that they were.
X is on that grind.
Oh my gosh, man.
oh, Vandahar says he's going to make Aches nerd famous. Aren't you already nerd famous? Or
No,
is
I'm
it-
not.
Aches. How did
Is
you
it
get
just
Vaughn
magnitudes
behind
of
you?
is it magnitudes
How
of nerd famousness?
All
Is
right,
that what it is?
Aches, after this, we need to talk behind closed doors to figure out how you got Vandahar behind you. You know, we'll talk about that later.
Hey, you know what,
And
though?
about my golden grenade.
Do you remember with Rambo doing the casting? It was a player basically kind of doing the casting, right? All this like real close knit environment that we were in this small venue, right? Has anybody ever seen Home Story Cup from StarCraft?
No.
There's a lot of similarities there. Home Story Cup, man. Like that's
Thanks for stopping by, Vaughn, dude. Always love you. Doing something great right now.
Yeah, I want to ask Mark what he thinks about like a lot of the Halo players coming over. I know we touched on it before, but I think you might.
Yeah, you've even tried to delve into sponsoring the Halo players beforehand, so that's interesting. I'd like to know that as well.
Yeah, before you answer that, I'm just gonna say goodbye. It was a great show. Thanks, Diesel Prophet, for having me on, and I hope you guys all tune in.
What the hell?
I know. I'm just saying thanks. Let's go.
Jeez.
I am out as well. Thank you guys for having me on.
All right.
Peace out,
See ya.
Emily. Keep being you, Emily. Keep being you.
Good night.
All right, yeah, I just want to say thanks to everybody that came on. Ego, you know, you need to shave. Mark, thank you for coming on, man. First time you've been on the show. I hope you enjoyed it.
Wait, are you
listen,
trying to close this out right now? We're trying to.
I'm happy to come back anytime
What
you
are we
guys want.
trying to ask, yo?
I'll
answer the question.
I'll answer your question first.
All right.
It's just like Home Story Cup. See you in the chat. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Yeah. Anyhow, sorry. What I basically answered your question is, the Halo pros, they were all kind of brought up in this very different like system where MLG thought they were going to be able to own the players, the teams, the brands, the league, and then sell it all to ESPN or News Corp for billions of dollars, but that didn't happen. And then they realized that they weren't as good at managing the talent as probably some other people were that actually do that full time. So like, now we're in this very different like environment where Call of Duty's been kind of brought up grassroots, and MLG was like big $1 million salaries and Dr. Pepper houses and everything. And so now all those guys are kind of like coming down off of that because MLG's kind of like turned it over a little bit to a different angle with PC titles and everything. So I think that it makes sense for the pro players that have the gun skill from Halo that's so like prevalent in that game and the reaction times to come over to Call of Duty. But I don't necessarily think that all of them are going to be able to make the jump from the community mindset, the community vibe. Are they going to be able to come over here? They may be able to come over here and play well, but can they come over here and build a player brand in this community? It's a very different community.
I think that they're not going to be able to come over here and team together. Like, if they're thinking like they can bring their Halo team, like their 4 players, and come to Call of Duty and play with that team, like it's not going to work. You're going to have to play with Call of Duty players. like they're going to have to impress, you know, someone like Rambo or, you know, an experienced Call of Duty pro. They're going to have to impress them and get them to pick them up because they're not going to learn the game like that by themselves. They're going to have someone teach it to them in a way where they can use their skill on that team where they understand the game. But I think you're going to see some Halo pros become top players, yeah, but not by themselves.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's true for even for like up and coming Call of Duty players. But I mean, the bottom line is, Ego, I think that there is going to be some transition there, just like you're seeing transition now between StarCraft 2 pros moving to League of Legends. I think that we're going to see some of that happening on the Halo side to Call of Duty. But at the same time, I think the bigger brands in Halo, like the big names in Halo, they'll just capitalize on those brands as long as they can, and I don't think they'll come play Call of Duty personally. I think it's the Halo players that still have some proven a name to make for themselves. They'll come.
All right. Well, I'm sorry, but I have to end it. Okay.
All right.
Unless you guys want to pay me like $500 a week to do this show, so I don't have to go to work, then I'm more than happy to take your money. But I have a job to get to. I'm sorry. So I am gonna end it out. Mark, thank you again for stopping by, man. You're always welcome. I mean, you're a good guy. You know a lot of things. I need to pick your brain, man. I need to pick your brain.
Anytime, man. I'm here for you, bro.
I appreciate that. Aches.
Thanks.
Aches, keep being you, Aches. I love you.
Hold on. I made a tweet to Vandahar that I think kind of comes back on his. I gotta post it in the chat or in the Skype call and in the chat. I found it funny. Oh, by the way, while I was at the UMG tournament, my mom texted me and she said, "Hey, look what came in," and she sent me a picture of the
trophy. Man,
yeah.
I saw that shit. That's why you're sending me a golden aid, right? No.
I don't even know I'm gonna figure out how many there are this weekend.
All right, but Ego. Yeah, Ego. But yeah, big shout out to our sponsors. You got UMG Gaming, of course, at UMG Gaming, Squid Grip, In Control Avenger, Vertex Labs, the creative genius behind the new look that is the Weekly Rant. I hope you guys like the look. I know I do. But that's all that we got for you tonight. We'll be back Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with some more awesomeness. So peace out.
Thanks, guys. Anytime, man. Just hit me up. I'll be around. In fact, actually, I think I'm doing